Now they can. Now they can.
Now they can.
Now they
Only
can.
music?
Oh man, I don't know. These DMs over here on Lost in they really need to up their
Professional
game.
streamers.
Yeah, professional streamers.
Yeah,
I would
technically.
never do that.
Sure,
No,
sure, yeah.
never.
There's definitely not plenty of evidence to the contrary at all. Not even a little.
What is evidence? I live in America.
Oh yeah, we're America.
Oh.
Okay. They used to be called Bassets? Fakes? I don't remember. I don't remember how to spell it.
Yeah, sorry. Lost me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. Hi everyone. How is the folks doing?
Good. Yeah.
I swollen.
Pretty
but
good.
Fine. I look like I'm worse for wear, but I'm fine.
I swear that's happened to me before, but I'm pretty sure I had like a mosquito bite or something is what did it.
Yeah,
So-
well, it's like, I think the issue is I have a CPAP machine that,
Same.
because I have a beard and I'm not willing to shave it, it often leaks, and sometimes it used to leak into my eyes. So I recently started wearing goggles at night, so I look like a Star Wars extra with the goggles and the mask.
Oh,
But
that's smart.
I think what happened is because I had the dry eye already and I had the goggles, I think that irritated it overnight, and that's why it's swollen up. So
Huh.
it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just annoying, and I'm blinking a lot.
The goggles hack though, because I also have a CPAP. And sometimes-
that was life changing. Just go.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like waking up in the middle of the night with something hissing and blowing air directly under your eyelid.
Yeah. Oh, it's so painful.
Ugh. Yeah, it's awful. But
That sounds
yeah,
terrible.
it's bad. it's really bad.
Yeah,
But like
can
when you have
recommend
sleep
goggles.
apnea,
It's one of those things that like I was hesitant because I'm like, is that healthy? Is that fine? It seems to be fine. I did a bit of research online. All you're really doing is just trapping the air that was already there for a little while.
fair. Yeah, no, that's smart. But yeah, like when you have sleep apnea, it's like you kind of need it. Otherwise, all of your sleep is terrible. Like,
Oh yeah.
actually horrible.
It was actually really funny when I went on my CPAP machine. I went from sleeping like constantly because I was sleeping so terribly. I was sleeping constantly and would just like fall asleep at my desk, stuff like that. To I was like, oh, I'm now remembering what it was like before sleep apnea, where I had trouble sleeping because I slept
Yeah.
too well and then I can't get to sleep. I'm like,
Yeah,
this
two
is
very different issues.
wait, hang on.
So
Swung full the
y'all
other way.
complaining about sleeping? Try infant. Try sleeping with infant.
We
Just
should've known
saying.
it was
But
coming.
this breathing problem. Try infant.
I've watched my sister go through 2 now in the last 4 years. No thanks, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm all right. Listen, you chose your bird, okay?
No. My wife chose the bird, and I said yes, ma'am.
You chose your wife too, so that's all on you, man. It's all on you,
No.
man.
She said we are getting married. I said she actually proposed to me, and I said yes, ma'am.
Congrats. That is either a choice or you were married without consent. Which is it, Scott?
You know what?
What do you-
Shotgun wedding.
Which one will she allow me to say?
Probably not what you just said.
Uh-oh.
Just to be upfront.
Don't clip
there.
it. Don't clip it. Don't clip it.
Well, yeah, it's good to see everyone, even though I have to do separate instances to see chat now. But yeah, this is all right. This is all right. But
Frantically need to tweet. I forgot to tweet.
well, I also guess that means that my intro thing didn't happen. I'm not redoing it, but this is called Enemy Lines, which means that there will be enemies
Yeah.
and lines, as I said in the Discord. You decide which is better or worse. That's really up to you.
Not the lines,
Uh,
the horror.
Yeah, dude, no, lines are awful. But yes, it will
Yeah.
be a rescue mission. You'll be trying to recover a Maltese Preclarum agent who was captured and is held at a Yavincian prisoner of war camp. Some of you have a little bit more info about that than others, as one of you is the leader of this here mission. One of you is a mercenary, and one of you is pointing at himself for some reason, but okay.
Oh.
And I don't know. Why don't we dive in? Any questions before we do so?
Actually, I am curious, because I don't know if I actually have this answer. What kind of chat interaction are we allowed to have? I think we're allowed to have luck if they come in, but are
that's
we
right,
also
yeah.
doing the bonuses, the 2 per session if a hype train happens and what? Like how can I get them to keep me alive the way that they always,
Scott.
always help everybody else?
Scott. You really think they want to keep you alive?
Yes, I'm everybody's favorite.
Let's see what's chat saying right now. Scott will have to try harder than that. That's a pretty good point.
Yeah.
Solo. He probably should try a bit harder than that. Luck is fine. Daddy's dice is fine. Ooh, speaking of which, I need to go
you
grab
keep
my
me
dice.
alive, right?
Yeah. Be nice to Tesh and Jake. We like them.
Kill him.
Jose
That one.
Kitty's-
Thank you.
Jose Kitty's just hell no. But no, I'm okay with...
Last time I was with Tesh, though, we were fighting demons. So were we going to be seeing any of them? Are they making an appearance at all?
I'm gonna go with probably not. I'm gonna go with probably.
That's not
we were,
100%. That's not 100% no, though. So
Well, yeah, because like,
Fighting-
I mean, any die I roll, there's a percent that
Oh yeah.
it probably not. It's very unlikely.
Let's. I wonder if this go around, if Auroram's gonna get as fucked up by a single nat 1 by me as it was last time. That
would-
nat 1 I rolled changed a lot of shit.
That would be
could.
impressive. But no, I'm good with all of the stuff that isn't like the malfeasance and the FFs, like the big ones. We're gonna cut those out. But the other stuff's fine. Ooh, bits. Look at that.
Biddies.
Already. It's already begun.
It begins.
Where
Which I
is-
should probably bring that screen up.
I can take
last
care
time-
of that for you, Keegan.
Okay, that'll work.
Yep, I'll take care of that so you can focus on other things. Since it's the first session with you running this, let me just try to take care of that stuff so you don't have to, okay?
Jake,
for me.
I just realized that game. That's the last time I played D&D. I am starved
really?
for D&D. Yeah.
Whoa.
damn.
I unfortunately had a private game fall through at the exact same time, and then there's just been nothing.
Dude, no, that
I'm
sucks.
eager to get back into D&D.
Did you like make a character and everything? Was it like right up to the?
Yeah, we actually got one session in. So
That's almost
I got to
worse.
play that guy. It is almost worse because it was a high level campaign, so it was a level 11 character. So I really put a lot of effort to make the character. I got one less session, and I'm like, fuck.
What system was it?
It was 5e.
Okay, well, at least it's easier to make a character.
Yeah,
I
it
gonna
was
say, God.
definitely easier than Pathfinder.
Yeah, if you made a level 11 Pathfinder character and then played a session, I'd be pissed.
I was playing heavy armor machine gun warlock with just eldritch blasters out the ass.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. I don't know. 5e it's fun. I don't know. I just have less. I have less fun making like higher like not higher level characters, but like characters that I'm more interested in their build. You know, like you can build in a lot of
Maybe.
story and stuff, and it's fine. But the
That's
building is just
fair.
not as fun
so
to me.
I started in 5e and branched out. My happy medium is somewhere between Pathfinder and 5e. Because like what I like about 5e is they leave a lot of room, a lot of wiggle room. So it's a lot less like Pathfinder is very specific. Like everything works in an exact way, which
Yeah.
I can understand and is very useful in a lot of situations. but there are some situations where in 5e I love that you can say, "Hey, can I try using this for this?" And it's like up to the DM. And my favorite thing is seeing the DM just go, "Sure,"
That's
and then,
actually
like
that's
working around that.
that's true for all systems. So it's just that 5e they realized that they can be lazier and they can write less and make more money.
See,
Whereas earlier versions of D&D, so 3E and Pathfinder are almost exactly the same for how built out the rules are, but earlier editions of D&D were the same as 5E. It's just people got agitated that there weren't enough rules. And then they put in a bunch of rules, and then they were like, but we can make more money by doing less work. Let's do that. Let's just make sure we leave open source, because last time we took that out, everybody got angry at us. And then they tried taking it out again, and everybody got angry
and
again.
everyone got angry again.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
I
was
mean, yeah,
arguably
that's
that
fair.
time. Except
I think,
first time spawned Paizo, which, you know.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun flavoring my characters as well. Like one of my favorite I played an artificer armorer where all of the armor was like shards of metal that would come up and form on, like, I have runes cut because I was a warforged. I have runes carved into him, so it was a much more magic version of a artificer, where it would the runes would activate and cause the shards of metal to come out of his pack and form over him as the armor, stuff like that. Like, there's a little
dope.
bit more room for like flavoring in 5e, which I really like. You can still do it in Pathfinder and the other ones, which is why I say, like, I'd love a happy medium. Like some of the variety and rigidness of Pathfinder with just enough of like the RP and moldability in 5e.
Which is fair. Some would say 2E of Pathfinder is that. I haven't
tried it.
that impression
I have,
myself, but
I have been meaning to have a look into that, but I haven't had a chance.
it's not that it's not a bad system, but it's not.
You know what's a great
my
system,
favorite.
though?
Pathfinder 1.
Enemy lines.
I was legitimately about to be like, okay, I'm sorry for derailing. Let's get back into the thing.
No, you're good.
Yeah, we probably should though. So cool.
All right.
Let's get into this. I think I asked if you had any questions beforehand. I'm gonna go with no at this point now that we answered like 2 of them.
Yeah, you never actually answered that question about the +5 Vorpal sword.
Oh, that was a no. That was a no.
I'm sorry, you cut out. What was the answer to that one again?
I think the
Was
2
it-
other important pieces.
Kicken,
are
or
that.
was it
I
a
think he's gonna
yes,
keep
and that
asking.
it's being sent over to a deer? Is that what's happening?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dress-
okay,
I wasn't
okay.
gonna say
Address-
that out
Seems to be
loud.
cutting
Jake.
out. I can't
Wasn't
hear
gonna say that out
you.
loud.
Damn it! I'm sorry, I'm spoiling things.
Don't spoil
You know,
it.
you just give it to me as a birthday gift, you know?
All right,
Now you're
behind enemy lines. Let's
What the
go.
hell's happening? Right. So we will begin our story at night. Night in Aurorum tends to be a bit brighter than you might think, especially given that there are 3 separate moons. And that light shows us first over the water. Separating from a larger MLT's ship, a small rowboat with 4 people in it, 2 of which rowing, heaving away from the initial ship, pushing with the oars out into the water. The faint sound of lapping waves is the only thing you hear beneath the clanking of straps and buckles of the ship's rigging above. That begins to fade more and more into the distance for our 2 MLT's soldiers. Thankfully, neither of you have to row. Your rank affords you that privilege. The other 2 with you have taken up that duty, jawing back and forth a little bit with each other as they get a bit more comfortable in your presence. For the 2 of you, no lanterns, no other light sources among you. You're trying to be quite quiet, discreet. As you know, the larger ship you're departing from is moving ahead. You're already well past the wall of ice, but they're moving on to a naval engagement. Hopefully that's successful, but that's not your mission. Yours is a bit more discreet. Could argue it's a bit more important. You don't know the information that the Proclarum you're rescuing has, but you know their work. Whatever rumors they've spread, whatever information they've brought back to Amulta is often invaluable. And the fact that you are being sent with the combination of timing and importance means quite a bit to the weight of the information they might possess. It's been a few days for each of you at least since you've left the comforts of home, not the comfort of Amulta. You're still in its waters, but whether it be your own families, the warmth of your hearth, the comfort of your own bed, back on the road, focused for whatever reasons are personal to you. To focus in a little bit and give our viewers more to imagine visually here, why don't we describe our characters? We could start with Tesh.
Okay. So, Magister Jaren Ulkrin is fairly tall. He's about 5'11". He's gruff, old, in his 40s, early 40s. Short hair, dark skin, scars everywhere. And wearing light armor chain. He's definitely moving like he's used to heavier. He's got a sword and shield on his back, whole lot of supplies, very, very prepared, and eyes on the horizon, watching anything.
Excellent. Eyes on the horizon, it shows you where you're headed, clearly. You know you're headed to that little strip of no man's land of Yavance. There's someone you're meeting there. You've got a little bit of intel on them, but can't see them from here, which probably good. Means they haven't lit a fire. They're not drawing attention, so hopefully they're not foolish. But a few more hours will show you the truth of it. And Scott.
I can't remember how to do the magnification of tokens, but that would be a cool way
Shift Z just makes it as a GM. It shows it for everybody.
Oh, as GM, okay.
Yeah, that shows it for everybody. But cool.
I feel like you're telling me to Alt F4 here, Scott, for some reason.
Yeah. Actually, why don't you press?
I also realized that wouldn't be on stream anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it wouldn't right now.
It'll be there later. You guys will see it later.
Right.
So my character, Marcellus Faber. Marcellus is he also stands at about 5'11". He's not young. He's a 39-year-old man who has worked since he started his service, his mandatory service in the military at about the age of 16. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to join into that service. But within the first month of being there, he realized his calling, and that this is the discipline and the rigor in life that he loved, and he loved every aspect of it. He poured his heart and soul, his life into it. He's now been in service for, what would that be, 20? Because he was 16. He's 39 now, so it's at 23 years. He's been serving, and he's happy to do so. He's especially happy to do so since he found his wife, and since they had their first child, their daughter, who's now 17 years of age. He has two others that are younger than that as well. He's proud to say that his daughter just recently joined his boot camp herself. So he received a letter from her just a couple days ago, and while the mission is there, and there's like his stern look on his face, a little bit of gray starting to peek into his very tightly kept beard and his hair that he keeps very tight to the side of his head. There's a bit of a stern face, but deep inside, he has a swelling pride that his daughter will also fight hard for Amulta and for her younger brothers, and for her mother, same as he has always done for her and the rest of the family.
Been in just slightly longer than Jaren himself. Jaren also was someone who avoided military service at first, but having had his town acquired by Paradel, and then subsequently, luckily, being rescued from Inclame shortly after, has since pledged everything to Amolta is. Very much a career first, barely a life otherwise type of person.
Do you guys have pictures?
Pardon?
I said, do you guys have pictures? Can we show them on stream?
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I-
my
I-
picture is 100% AI generated. I did not hire
think
an artist
everybody-
for this.
No,
Yeah.
mine. I made mine in Veilguard's character creator. Actually.
That's right.
I don't know what that is. Sounds like
it's
something that
Dragon Age
also is
Veilguard.
AI.
Yeah, it's Dragon Age.
No, Dragon Age, a game. It's character creator. I made them and then posed and used as a picture.
Boo! I was gonna hire an artist for a 5-session thing. That'd be
You
crazy.
could just do stuff like what I did.
It would take
Use a
longer.
game's character creator.
Around the time that the last session ended, I would get the first character's art done.
No. I mean, it's like as I was saying, what I did is like I just tried out various games, character creators till I found one I liked for my character.
Thank you, 13th,
That's
because I
smart.
did use AI.
But that's
Yeah,
why I
13th forgives you. Not you, Scott.
that's why I was saying is I was like well, I'm not putting the thing on stream, so it's okay. You know, it's just for me. You know.
I mean, I wasn't gonna see you outed
Yeah.
yourself, my dude. Like, I don't have to tell
Oh
you.
yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I'm honest.
Any kind of conversation or thing between your two characters as you travel on the rowboat towards shore?
Yeah. One of the things that I would definitely want to say to Tesh's character, because I would have heard of him. I mean, he's an officer, right? And while we don't serve in the same branch of the military, he would have a bit of a reputation around him as somebody who converted coming over from being a Del, right? So
Well,
I
he
imagine.
got taken in by Inclame, but yeah, he was from a Malta. But
So
yeah.
Del. So you get taken in. So you tell me you served on the other side.
only for no, he was in Inclame only for a couple months when he was forced into it, sort of thing.
Gotcha. But either way,
Now-
I imagine.
Yeah.
I imagine
actually,
when they
it's
first.
just funny because I imagine the reputation is, as you say, is just the convert stage, not the rest of it.
Yeah, of course, right? As the unfortunate way it goes. So I imagine when we first bumped into each other, I would have made some sort of mention of, I won't hold the fact that you're a Del against you. You know what I mean? Being a bit of a joke, but also a testing the waters.
I was about to say, so you would have received a very stern look as, okay, that's not to be joked about, sort of thing. Like, Jaren, in the short time that you would have been interacting with him, he's blunt and a bit of an ass, but also, like, he'll do things like check your equipment. He goes out of his way to make sure everything's going as it needs to be and people aren't being stupid and endangering themselves. But he's an asshole about how he does it. Hey!
Like, I'm hyped.
Hey, Wade.
So
Wade?
when you have that kind of like a stern look or a response, I literally leave it alone at that. That's like until it's mission time. There's no conversation. Like I said, I was testing the waters. Clearly not
And
somebody
the waters
to,
were
that's warm.
thoroughly rough.
They were about as icy as the ones we're floating in. Back to you,
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely not one for small talk. It's one of those things where he wouldn't, if you then did any other small talk, he wouldn't shoot it down, but he wouldn't engage fully. Like, it'd be short answers, quick. He doesn't ask any questions about you. Except your skills. He would ask about that when like that comes up and stuff like that. But otherwise.
Okay.
Actually, that's probably the only thing he would have asked you is like your skills, what your speciality it is, what's worked for you in the past, sort of thing.
I would just my response would just be simply, I'm Gish.
Perfect. And he'd leave it at that.
Yes.
Short and sweet.
Riveting. That's I had so much time to go get my dice. But you guys continue to float along. Before we get you to shore, we'll jump ahead a little bit across the waters that you're traveling to Varlin. You're pretty close to shore at the moment. You've been waiting for a little bit for these guys to show up. You know it'll be a few more hours yet. There's some others you're supposed to be running into. You're waiting to hear back from the group that you've been working with about some of the equipment and preparations you're supposed to be getting in on. You do see them approaching, thankfully. They'll get here several hours before the rowboat that's across the way, which is nice. As they're arriving, go ahead and give us a description of Varlin.
Before you do so, Keegan, I just want to say that your voice is very soothing. I imagine lots of people listening to this stream are going to fall asleep to the rhythmic sound of your voice, massaging their ears.
I knew immediately what was happening. Who even redeemed that? Oh, 13th? Thank you, 13th. Jake, before you were so politely interrupted.
Yes. So Varlin is he's a tall man, broad, clothed in patchwork leather armor with the red thorned eye of House Malvale stitched on his chest. He has a windburnt scalp, no hair, but he has a thick mustache on his upper lip. He's heavily scarred, and he's standing like a man who is waiting for a job.
Right. You have your friend with you?
Yeah, he does. He has a rather large black wolf dog who stands at his side. Varlin's hands probably just scratching him behind the ear.
Probably a combination of just, the camaraderie, but also there's people approaching that he hasn't met. You know how people tend to react to him. They do pull up close. They finally get there. One on horseback, one not. So not traveling at the speed of, riders or anything.
Lucky way.
As they get up to you, the one who's already on foot, you see him kind of lean over and say a few things to the guy on the horse, who kind of gives you a quick up nod. He hops off and he starts unpacking some things from the horse. The other comes up straight to you. He's like, "Hey, any trouble so far?"
Varlin at this stage just sort of grabs his dog behind the head onto the neck a little bit as his dog starts to growl. He says, What was that?
Running any trouble? See anything weird out here?"
No, the only thing I've seen is you guys. Nothing else.
Yeah, good. We tied off with the folks with the wagon. Looks like that went off without a hitch. You'll see them once you guys head east. They'll be camping out. I got some good news and some bad news for you.
Yeah, I'd spit it out.
We got the disguises and such. We got some. I think you needed 4? You, the 2, and the driver or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's about right.
We got 2. We could only get 2 of them. I'm not trying to screw y'all over or anything. I mean, money from your house is good and everything, but that's all we could find. The rest of it wasn't usable. But I got some more information for you. And he actually points out east and is like, if you look out that way, you can see there's some clouds out there rolling in this way. Weather's not going to get too bad. It doesn't look like it's raining, but it is going to get overcast. once it looks like that, even the Del, even their eyes ain't gonna work too good. So they'll have to start lighting fires, with their scouts and whatnot. We made some noise getting that cart. Usually that means their scouts are gonna come out a little bit further. They get nosy. If you can hit them, while the clouds and stuff are up there, their camp's not gonna see them very well. They'll just see the fire. That'll get you your uniforms and get rid of a scouting group. The other one is now gotten those packs out. You can see that they've got the uniforms. Go ahead.
Yeah. He just says, well, I mean, I suppose we have to, right? But, you were paid for 4 uniforms. You'll answer for that.
Just the info. We ran that out. Look, hey, we still ran into the same danger, all right? They just didn't
Hey, look, you don't need to tell me. We all have people we answer to. We happen to be answering to the same person on this anyway.
Yeah. Shit. He looks back at the other guy and he just kind of like jerks his head towards you. And the guy kind of gives him a look like, fuck no. Like he has this like defiant look for a second. And he jerks his head over there again. The dude grabs a pouch, grabs a handful of silver out of it. He's like, does it count if we give it to you?
He looks at him like shocked and he says, no, I don't. Listen, we all have, like I said, we have those we answer to, and no, I'm not answering for you.
Shit, I guess I can't blame you. Right, yeah, well, look, we did our best. We'll take care of that part. You already know the way, right? Straight east. They'll have a fire. Yeah. They're before the hills start, so shouldn't be visible to the enemies.
Yeah, appreciate the information. Thanks, fellas.
Yep. Best of luck.
And you too.
He goes, oh yeah, the horse I think is for one of those Maltese who's coming.
They need a horse?
It got paid for, so it stays here.
Right. Well, if we get hungry, we can always eat it.
Damn right.
Damn.
Goes back over to the guy, dude, like puts the silver back, kind of gives you a nod. They grab whatever their stuff was off of it and start hiking south.
Pretty sure if we have a cart provided, we're going to need a horse for it, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, unless the dog's going to be pulling it.
Maybe.
Well, hopefully they've got at least, one horse with the cart, but...
Yep.
Anything else from Varlin in the meantime before we cut back over?
No, he's just waiting now for the others to arrive.
Yeah. A few more hours wait. You're watching them come in. The two of you can, from a decent distance, see the man and his very large dog waiting for you.
I assume I would have been informed of the dog as well. It was not like that sort of surprise, I imagine.
Yeah, you would have got like a basic description of what to expect to see at least.
Yeah.
Though granted, the oh shit, forgetting the ranks now. One of the people rowing is a hedge first rank.
That's
which
right.
He's going with you.
Sorry, are they both human?
What's his name? I just want to make sure I have it here.
I think they're all human. His name is... I'm on the wrong page to see it.
Yep.
Because of course
human.
I am.
I probably should have said, considering I got taken into Inclame, but yes, human.
Drusus. The hedge is Drusus.
Cool.
Drusus Ferrers. I'll just put it out there so people can see it. He, as you guys are getting a little bit closer, still out of earshot of the shore, unless you start shouting. He just say, Magister, should we be expecting any kind of trouble once we go ashore? Before we've got to the destination?
It's always best to be ready, but not entirely. Scouts, maybe, but ideally, that's why we've got some assistance with us.
Okay. I know we're bringing the guy with the dog. I do have a... I'm going to be driving this this cart or whatever. I can get brushed up on that, but I have a concern once we hopefully get inside.
It's just to confirm, he's saying he's got a concern for when we get inside, or he's got one once we get inside. So is he trying to tell me it now? Sorry, this is me just trying to get.
He wants to tell you now, but it is now, about once you're inside.
Inside. Got it. Understand. Speak your mind.
You two have accents when you speak Perrin.
Yes, well, that is a, yes, well, that's part of, this is also me just inferring this, that's part of the reason why hiring a mercenary, as much as I dislike the idea, works for this mission.
Yeah, it does. Yours is pretty faint. They're not too deep. It's just, if someone's really paying attention, they might notice. I've trained mine away pretty well. I should be able to do most of the talking. I guess that's why I'm here. But if you do...
Indeed.
If you play the part
of an...
Go ahead.
I can play the part of an inclame soldier that's just doing his job. And the way he says that, just doing his job, there's very much that's meant to be an insult to the inclame soldiers.
Fair. I mean, it's not going to bother him any. He seems very relieved by that. Like, that was probably the thing he was going to suggest. He's like, all right, understood.
Yeah.
So my character doesn't even speak during that. But we'll obviously reflect on the what he's saying about the accents bit. Just kind of commit to myself not to speak around those unless it's necessary. Keep the word one word or simple responses. But after your attention kind of is pulled away from that, I will kind of like look to you to get your attention, and then I'll say,
Magister, the man over there, the one joining us, did we really need one of them?
Do I get an idea of what he means by one of them?
He's from
I
Yvonne's.
know that already. Oh, from Yvonne's? Oh.
Yeah, Jaaek's character, not the hedge.
Yeah. I have had experience working with mercenaries before. As much as I dislike how hard they are to keep in line, if I'm working with them, there's usually a reason in that they are very good at what they do. He will come in handy. We just have to make sure that he doesn't endanger the mission as well.
I understand that this is meant to be a tool for us to succeed our mission, but more of a rusty blade than anything. Treaty be damned. We should keep a close eye on that one.
Oh, I plan to. As I said, mercenaries are useful, but they have to be kept in line.
Looks unsatisfied. We'll definitely toss like a look across the way to Varlin. Varlin probably even notices it as well. It's not a friendly look, but it's also not intentionally like, it's not overly aggressive, more appraising and disapproving.
Yeah. If I see that, I'll simply say, even a rusty blade can be useful for specific tasks, and just leave it at that.
Yep. I won't speak back.
Doesn't take long before the rowboat pulls ashore, and the two of them using the oars to pull to stop it before it like actually runs aground quickly. Begin to get out, unloading your own things. The second rower stays in the boat. They'll be taking it back to the ship. But you guys pretty quickly are able to get your own things out, and Varlin, you're not far from them as this is happening. I don't know if you want to approach or have any words with them or anything like that, but it's to you all for the moment.
Yeah, Varlin just once again kind of grips hold of the dog, and he just stands his ground while he waits for them to approach.
I will approach. Once I get.
I'm curious. Sorry, Tesh. I'm curious as he's
No, you're good.
approaching, because I'm gonna obviously stay a bit behind as Tesh is first gonna introduce himself. I want to watch the dog and see how it reacts to other people it doesn't know approaching. And sorry, Tesh, take over.
No, you're good. So yeah, I will approach. But I'm gonna. I mean, it's one of those things where dog is growling. I don't currently know the reason why, but my character does have a lot of experience with animals, and so he's going to be approaching, deliberately trying to be as unthreatening as possible in the way that he would approach another unsure animal. Almost like he's aiming the way he's approaching towards the dog more than Varlin.
I think so. So for Tesh, that is going to be a handle animal check for you.
Yep, I can do that. First roll of the game. Oh, it's not too bad, but it's not good. It's about right for a unknown.
It's not terrible. But
it's about right considering his owner's basically telling him to be angry at me.
Yeah. So Varlin, how does Gorjaw respond to the approach?
He is sitting, but he's like teeth. He bares his teeth and he starts to snarl. But Varlin just has a hand on him, and he speaks like a few whispered words, and dog stays put. But I mean, as he approaches, before even you get a chance to speak, Varlin reaches for something in his pocket and pulls out a bit of parchment, and he says, "Welcome, our brother, Maltese. House Melvale welcomes you to sunny Yavance." It's overcast. We are here to satisfy he like stretches it out. Satisfy the agreement, and I'm here to help you on your mission. Crumples it back up and puts it in his pocket.
I would have been given his name, right? I was just about to say his name when I realized would I know his name, or just know that I'm meeting someone?
I don't think your name's a secret, is it, Jake?
No.
Not really.
And I'm assuming the house gave vague details, right? Of
Yeah.
going to be meeting. So yeah, he probably knew his name.
Okay.
We had a dog. That's about it.
Varlin,
Right.
I assume. I almost forgot my own rank. Magister Jaren Ulkran. You are working with us on this. I appreciate your house's generosity in helping us. However, this is my mission. As long as you understand that, I think we'll get along well.
Your mission, sure, but I serve the house. So as long as we understand that, we'll be
Understood.
fine.
You know what? He would actually have a bit of respect in the way you said that. He would give that sort of like, okay.
Yeah,
and then I'll turn
similarly-
around. Oh,
I
sorry,
was going to say, similarly,
wanna-
when you say that, Tesh, like they kind of like laying down rule pretty early on, is that it's like, we'll remember this, right? Like appreciation to that.
Yeah. I would turn around and introduce what was Marcellus's rank again? Actually, no, I have it. No, I don't. I don't have his rank. I have his name, not his rank.
He's like senior magi, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say Magi Marcellus Faber and Hedge Drusus. Actually, I would probably just say Marcellus, not I wouldn't give last names for you two, just because it's not needed right now and he doesn't need to know. Marcellus, Magi Marcellus and Hedge Drusus.
Magister and Magi. What's the difference?
Rank. He is.
And who's the boss?
That would be me.
Hmm.
He is proficient in the more arcane ways of combat. I am much more sword and
Don't know what
shield.
that is.
Don't know what. I mean, honestly, he would just be like, "You'll see soon enough." I mean, ideally, you won't see it all, but knowing how these things go, you'll see.
Okay, before we get started here, have you got gloves on?
I'd say he probably would actually have like full armor, gloves, everything.
Yeah,
I
it
love
would have been
gloves.
really cold going across that
Yeah.
water too, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Valen just says, can you take your gloves off for a sec?
You know what? Can I sense motive? Because I have a feeling I know what's going on here, and what he's about to ask. At least I think, and I think that Jaren would also. So can I try and just do a sense motive here?
That if
Go
it's
ahead.
PC to PC, that's between you two. Yeah. You said
Go ahead.
That's much better.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's got something to do with the dog.
Yeah, that if he catches that, he'll be like he'll nod and take off one of his gloves.
He'll reach forward for your hand.
Yep, I'll hand it. I'll give it to him.
He kind of like yanks you forward a bit while he's holding the back of the dog's, like I said, back of the neck there.
Yep.
And brings your
So he
hand
won't
up to the
resist,
dog.
especially when it's like confirmed to him that like this is the dog thing. It's like scent maybe or something like that is what he's thinking.
Yeah.
I actually, when this happens, I actually want to, because like I'm concerned by him and the aggressiveness of this. You'll actually see me place my hand on the hilt of my sword, and I'll lose a bit of focus. I'll like stare kind of like intently, and one of my hands will start making a few gestures, and I'm actually going to cast a spell at the moment. So I don't need to say any words to do it. I just make a few gestures with one hand and the other one placed on the hilt of my sword. But I'm actually going to cast a Peace Ward bond. And what it is everybody in the area cannot do anything overly aggressive, cannot attack or anything like that. No violence can
Damn.
be made unless one person successfully makes a will save, in which case the spell ends for everybody simultaneously. And everybody's aware that it has ended for them. So it kind of
That
like
is cool.
forces us all to be peaceful or not be peaceful simultaneously. So I do that to make sure the dog is in check.
I think you
Yeah,
moved
well,
that
as
only
you,
to
I
GM.
guess, as you
Oh,
put
I'm
your
sorry.
hand on your
Yeah, you're good.
sword, almost right, the dog reacts immediately, and you'll see Valen lets go of what's your character's name, Tesh? Again, sorry, Jaren.
Jaren.
Jaren. He lets go of Jaren, and then just like bear hugs the dog, and it's like growling. And then you cast your spell.
So as the
Drops
so
that.
once the spell goes off, I'm actually going to turn to Marcellus. That was unneeded. I understand
What
the
do we get? A
sentiment.
will save it?
Yeah.
You only will save only for making an aggressive action.
Yeah,
Okay,
All
so-
creatures
so
in the
the-
range are incapable of causing violence or any violent action targeted or offensive magics created, will negates. So if a target succeeds, the will save, the ward effect ends immediately for all. When it's broken in this fashion, all creatures become immune to that caster's peace bond for 24 hours.
So
Yep,
I would
so
roll the
more or
dog
less-
here then. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, only if the dog was going to do something aggressive. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
I think that's what he was implying, right?
Yeah.
So it's up
yeah.
to you though.
Yeah,
Jeff.
he
That's
was stopping the dog from attacking, basically.
10.
All
So
right.
that's a fail. It's a DC 13, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
So that
So
would
the
at
dog,
least-
I guess, calms down, and as Valen's holding on to him, and you say your thing.
Yeah. Marcellus, I understand the sentiment. Unneeded and is causing more problems. Save the casting for when it's actually needed or ordered. Please.
I will lock my jaw because this Haste doesn't know a fucking thing about magic, and the fact that I am under his command is so infuriating. But I was sent here by more intelligent people that have a stronger design than this idiot. And so I lock my jaw and just stand there.
I will turn around to Val and just say, I apologize. He was merely acting protectively. I understand that you were attempting to... what would be the way to say this? Teach your... you haven't said your dog's name yet, have you?
No.
You would teach him who he is working with that gesture you were performing, correct?
Yeah, sure. What's wrong with him?
He's cast a spell. I imagine this is something I would have dealt. This spell specifically is something I probably would have dealt with before. If it's that sort of like,
Sure. And if you told me
that
not to
sounds
do it,
very useful for like
it's ended.
meetings and stuff.
I have to maintain concentration to be able to do it the way that I did.
Oh,
And if you
okay.
told me to end it, it's ended.
Yeah, awesome. You know what? He would definitely respect that you accepted that and ended it. So I imagine I would have. This is something that would be very useful for like meetings and stuff, like meetings between operations. So I'm sure he's
I'm
encountered
okay
this
with that either
before. He would just say it was merely something to make sure that no one acted aggressively without everyone knowing. But I understand that was not your intention. I hope
I guess as a
this
spell
won't
ends,
sour us working together.
yeah, as the spell ends, obviously the dog kind of gets more riled up when Valen like tightens his grip on the dog, right? And he talks to the dog. He's like, "Shh, it's okay, it's okay." He'll pat the dog and he'll say, "Yeah, well, not a good start. You know, when you're dealing with animals, you know, trust is important. But look here,"
So-
and he says, "Give me a hand again."
I was about to say, so what I will do this time is I will go and sort of like crouch down next to them because he's still like holding his dog, I imagine, and I will extend my hand without the glove, close enough that he can choose to then maneuver my hand or let me continue to just hold my hand there in front of his dog.
Yeah. At first, you see he'll move like he's got one of his hands like around the neck of it, and he'll grab the jaws, and then
Yep.
he'll let it go and grab your hand, and he'll bring your hand in. The
Yep.
dog will like sniff your hand and that sort of stuff. And then he says, "All right, well that's one of yours. But listen, the dog knows who you are now. But look, if we end up in battle." And you see, once again, he looks at Marcellus, and he like looks him in the eyes, and he puts his hand up like that, and then he goes down and he grabs a dagger out, and he picks it up like that, and he hands it to you, and he says, "It needs to know blood. That way, in the frenzy, it won't mistake you for one of them."
Okay, so given that I at least have a decent experience with animals, maybe not this type exactly, would I have any? I would probably think this is a reasonable thing.
I mean,
I think in this case
that
that would
doesn't
be
sound reasonable.
that'd be a knowledge nature. Really, so it's info on
Knowledge
animals.
nature is definitely not my forte. So you know what? In that case, no one. I need this mission to go well. This dog, if it's going to go wrong now, it's going to go wrong. It's better that it goes wrong now than later. I'm actually just gonna do it because I'm not fussed about hurting myself. I'm going to make sure I do it first, not the people who are under my command. So I will take the dagger. I will.
Right before you cut yourself, I'll say, "Sir."
I was gonna say I would take the dagger, turn around. I'd give you a sort of look like, now you can get ready just in case, but don't do anything unless something bad happens. Like there's a look of like, now would be when you would have wanted to have that spell before, but it's. And then I turn around and just
I
cut.
say, sir, when dealing with a rusty blade,
is all I say. And then I'm going to draw in a Maltese blade, like dagger, and then hand that to you instead.
You can see that
You know what?
Drusus with you, actually, he was also getting a little tense, and he kind of relaxes a little. But continue.
No, that's a good point. I mean, honestly, he probably wouldn't need to do that. He'd probably just draw a bit of his sword and then just think
There you go.
the
Okay.
sword away.
Just making sure you're not taking whatever poisons thing he handed to you.
Well, that's the thing. Like, his mindset is it goes wrong now because of this guy is betraying us. It goes wrong now, not goes wrong in the middle of where more people are going to die.
I'm just glad
So
we're
he's going to do that.
giving
He's
the
gonna use his
dog away,
sword.
hunting us down. Yay.
So, but you do it. Like,
He just puts
Sharon
the
is
dagger
very
back
much
in and lets you do your
hurt
thing.
himself first, sort of thing. So go on, sorry.
He just puts the dagger back then and lets you do your thing. And as you cut your finger or whatever else, the dog like kind of will smell it and probably lick the blood off your finger, and then seems to relax.
Okay. I mean, at that, I would probably just stand up, put the glove back on. I assume they need to as well.
Yeah. Next.
Without any ceremony.
So,
S-
yeah,
s-
specifically, what happens in the way this goes down, Jaren makes sure that he's always at least partially in a position to intercept anything and between his men and Valen. Like, he's very specifically just off to the side, sort of like, they're here, he's here, sort of thing. Like, just, I guess it's they're here, he's in between. So, like, off to the side, but in between. Ready to intercept.
I was just say, without any ceremony, glove would come off. There'd be a small cut. I don't want to hurt my hands too much. I need them for casting and maintaining my weapons, right? So a small cut, just let enough blood to pool onto it, and I would put my sword down by the dog's face so it could smell it as needed or whatever. But I wouldn't give up control over my blade.
Yeah, that's fine. You'll see Valen still does guide, like he'll grab out to your hand and he'll guide it to the dog, all that type of stuff. And once again, it's just easy and quick, all done. The dog seems to visibly relax around you, and then he waits for the last member, who I assume does the same thing.
The dog visibly relaxing is something that, like, that is what eased Jaren as well. Like, as the dog relaxes, he would relax more as well, at least a little bit.
I forgot I muted myself to get up. He says, he looks a little nervous, wipes his dagger on his cloak, and says, at least he listens well. This is new for me, though. Then he'll proceed.
I'm glad to be your first.
I love it.
He gives like
Now-
the very dry chuckle at that.
With that sorted, we are now working together as a team, and I expect everyone to act as such. That means both respect and keeping in line and watching each other's back. And the way he says it very much is like it's to both sides he's saying that. Whatever we were going into this, we are working together now, and that is what matters. We don't do that, we're going to have problems and someone's going to get killed.
What is this? What do you mean? I have a job to do. The house has given me a
Yes.
job. I'm going to do it. What's
Good.
with the animosity? Do we have problems here?
This is not animosity. This is just making sure everyone understands. And I mean, everyone, that's definitely a look towards Marcellus there, understands we are allies working together, watching each other's back.
Do you have a problem with me? He says,
No,
looking at
not at all.
Marcellus. No, he says
Oh,
up to
with
Marcellus
Marcellus.
as you
Oh,
look at him.
I'm trying to decide if Jaren would interrupt it. He would actually probably say, his problem. Actually, no, I wouldn't say his problem. I would say, whatever issue there was, there isn't anymore. Understood? And he says understood, looking towards Marcellus and then to you.
No,
I say nothing.
I don't understand because there was never a problem to begin with.
He jumped the gun. That's all.
Right. Well, if there's anything I need to know, any bad
cast a
blood or
spell.
anything,
So as
then-
far
No,
as
no, 'cause you
as
said
far
gun.
as Jaren's concerned,
Misfire the
Oh,
crossbow. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What would be the term? Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Yeah, we know what you meant. It's fine. Yeah.
He acted quickly, but with the intent
Prematurely
of,
ejaculated.
Welcome to enemy lines, Ellie. I'm glad that's probably the first thing you heard.
He acted
This is how it's going.
out of a desire to make sure there was no conflict. I am just making it clear that we are working together. I don't believe there will be any need for this discussion later. We are working together as one.
Valen looks like still like kind of gobsmacked, and he looks at Marcellus. And he says, "I think he's talking to you."
I just so responding, since clearly they're waiting for a response, I'll say,
Sir,
and that's it.
All right.
With
Well,
that-
we're heading east to here.
Actually, that's a good point. Where we are, that's the direction we're heading, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yes, I assume I would have been told that he's been told at least the basics of what we're doing. We're going into a camp to retrieve someone, is what I imagine he's been told.
Fair to assume he knows at least that much. But this would be the chance
I
to
also
actually
probably would have.
convene on
Would I
information.
know that we only have two of the disguises?
No, he just
Okay,
got
so
that
I don't
information.
know that yet.
Yeah.
So I guess we'd be going to retrieve the disguises and cart now, is what we would be doing.
I would say your expectation is probably that you're going to where the cart and all of the supplies and things are.
The drop point.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
'Cause it
so
wouldn't
then
be here.
I would say, first things first, we need to retrieve the provided equipment. The drop point is, I'm assuming east. So we should head there now, and then we can sort out what we're doing after that.
All right. You ready?
Yes. And then that would be just immediately start setting off that direction, expecting everyone to be ready to go.
Yep, of course. At some point while we're moving along, I do want to kind of like pull you aside and have a word with you, Jaren.
Yep.
So I'd say
He would. So he it's one of those things where he welcomes people talking to him because that gets information and gets problems sorted quicker. Doesn't mean he's going to be receptive to it once you say stuff.
Yep. So when he kind of catches your attention, he's walking with you. He says,
I understand. This is our mission. We have an important task to get done. The task will be done. I also understand that you're playing nice as you're running point on this. But you don't actually trust him, do you?
So this is where I'm going to say, trying to think of the exact wording. I'd obviously want to make sure that we are out of earshot of him, at even the risk, to the point, the sort of distance where there's not even a risk that he could hear it if he because all I want to say is what I said earlier was to reassure him because I trust you. In other words, he's trying to appease him just to get him working with us nicely because I trust you to do your job regardless of whether you hate me or not.
I'm not very good at this, but I want to see if you're selling me bullshit.
I mean, honestly, this is the sort of part. This would be the part he's actually fine at doing. He's blunt. This is all true. He doesn't fully trust him, but he wanted to make sure that he's comfortable because that makes things smoother.
Okay.
It's only
He
so
knows if he
long.
pisses off you, you'll still do your job effectively.
Yep. Okay. Oh yeah. Of course, right? And I just say,
I just don't understand it. With the reputation, I just don't understand it. How is it that we can maintain such a treaty with these people?
Have you? This is one of the things where I imagine he would have fought. Have you heard firsthand what it's like to be from somewhere the Del capture?
Of course.
Then you will understand that while it is not optimal, it is necessary for now.
Have you heard firsthand what it is that the slaves who have escaped from Yovance through the southern border into Malta say that their masters do to them, their family, their friends, just because they didn't like the way they looked that day?
So he's going to get another step quieter and just say, Malta isn't currently rapidly expanding. Once we deal with the Del problem, I will be right alongside you in wanting to deal with that one.
That's decisions for the Queen and the rest of the courts to make. Of course, we follow orders. But a man like him, with a hound like that, who do you think he hunts down? Who do you think he's bringing back? And one piece or many?
These are questions you do not know the answer to. We do not know enough about him. We do not need to know now. And it is best if you keep those sorts of assumptions out of your mind. Right now, he is an ally working with us to free someone we need free. Who he was, we don't know. It may matter later. It does not matter now. You do not need to be his friend. You just need to work with him and watch his back as he does to yours, as he watches yours. Understood?
Yeah.
sorry, my voice cracked as I was speaking. He says,
Yeah. I think it's maybe the mission. It's getting to me.
I was about to say, we've been talking long enough. I reckon like now would be like a reasonable time for him if he wanted to try and listen in. But yeah,
I asked if I could already.
Oh,
Perception
yeah.
check, maybe?
Yeah, no. I'll say like the start would have been harder because it would have been very much like I would make sure the start was well enough away.
Thanks,
but
guys.
we've been talking long enough while walking. You can definitely get close. Oh, you definitely hear that last half.
God.
So it's very. Where do you think Kikin he would have been able to listen in from?
yes, we don't know, do we?
I guess yeah. Actually, you know what? We don't know. You tell him.
But, yeah, I'll message him real quick.
Yeah. And then once the mission's getting to, he'll say, "Understood that we will not." So no problems going forward.
When you're dealing with animals, trust is important.
And leaves it at that. And and Varlin can hear that all he wants.
I'm trying to decide how Jaren would. You know what? I think Jaren would just leave it at that. He understands the sentiment, and
One
as long
thing,
as
do
he's got
either of you
working-
have? Do either of you have knowledge Yovance at all?
No. I would only know. So I spent most most of my life in a small town slash village, and then the rest of it in the military. I know what I've been told.
I mean, it's our neighboring country. We know the basics of the nation at the very
Exactly.
least. And we
I
have been
know
fighting
stuff that's
alongside of
been
Yovance for a
going-
long while. Yeah.
Exactly. So I would the most that I would know that wouldn't be like the public knowledge would be just what soldiers see of each other, and I've probably heard rumors about that, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I
But
guess one thing
nuance
you
is
would
gonna
know
be
then if you
lost.
fought alongside of them, though, you know that Yovance's military is mostly all the fighting people anyway are made up of slaves for the most part, and they are marked and branded and things like that, and like that might come back to you. That Varlin is wearing like his house on his patchwork leather armor, right? So it signifies him as belonging to House Malvale.
Okay, so
And to be clear, like we don't know, we need to go too far down that rabbit hole, but the Yovance military structure, like the ranks are literally named Skag, Shield, Spear, Whip, Chain, Taskmaster, Scourgebringer, Master of Chains, like they are, yeah.
Yeah, that's the military. Yeah.
yeah. I mean that's I guess that sort of works in with what Jaren was saying, where it's like he's telling Marcellus that he's assuming too much. Like he's assigning all of this extra stuff to someone that we just do not know enough about right now to know either way, stuff that does not matter.
That ain't no
At least not
dog
now.
you find at a farm. But
Yeah. It's
Leave it alone
it's
there.
things that will matter in after the mission, but not before it's over.
All right. Well, Varlin at some point will, after you've had your little conversation and Marcellus has said his little one-liner, he'll kind of drop back and he'll say it's about nearly a day's march till we get to where the supplies are. So just letting you guys know.
Given the timing of him dropping back to say that, I'm probably going to assume he heard at least most of what we said, if not all of it. But that doesn't matter if he's not engaging right now. That's okay. I'll simply just nod. We best get moving then. Like just sort of like keep up the pace. Keep moving then.
Yeah. Drusus will chime in at that point as well and says, shit, you gave your name. He says, Varlin, you know if there's any kind of trouble once we hit the border or anything? I've been told it's pretty empty.
I don't know who told you that.
Yeah?
Yeah, you'll get the Paradel patrols. Yeah, they come through. You just gotta be smart about it.
We might be in luck. I think that's what some of that naval activity was trying to draw. Get them to be, maybe break their normal ranks. Or likely we'll slip right past.
Ideally.
Good.
I was ideally, yes. Whether I mean my profession, soldier 10, I assume I can know by now that this sort of weather is better for us, given the difference in vision.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't even need to roll for that.
As weather definitely favors us at least.
And you're walking into like even more overcast weather. You know that's going to be your friend.
Yes.
He'll continue and say, but I guess we'll cross that once we get to it. There were some disguises. I saw a couple of them.
Oh yeah, we've got 2. We were supposed to have 4, but we got 2. But if we spot one of those patrols, they set up and have campfires and such, we can pick up a couple more.
There's definitely if you continue talking,
He just says,
go for it.
But you go ahead. Yeah.
There's definitely a pause from Jaren before. That does seem like the better option, though it does put a timeline on the mission, so to say. We expecting many of those patrols this way? So he asked you, Violet, who's clearly been given a bit more information than he's been told right now, at least.
Yeah, no, there are. That's why we got to watch out for the campfires.
How big are the patrols?
Yeah, that's a good question, Keegan.
Yeah, Varlin, you would know between 3 and 7. It kind of depends. Hopefully the people that you're gonna be meeting with at that camp up ahead should have an updated number for you.
Half a dozen or so. But we'll know more when we get to the camp.
Mhm.
Interesting. Well, these those we're meeting will hopefully have better news for us. That is a problem I'd rather not have to deal with. The not scouts. It's like the way he's talking about like the disguises. Having the disguises makes things a lot smoother than not having them.
Definitely. Yeah, it I think that's going to be pretty crucial. Like, how the hell are we going to get inside that camp, looking like we do? Yeah, we've got to make that happen.
There are other options should it come to that, but they are unpleasant and have more risk. Good old, I've caught this person and I'm bringing them in, but I'd rather not go that route.
I guess we got to do what we got to do.
He just nods. That continues on. It's one of those things where he just needs more information. So he needs to talk to the people we're waiting on. He would notably be paying much more attention to the surroundings now.
What?
Keegan, the other gentleman that's with us, you said his name earlier, you even pasted in chat earlier. He's from Malta as well,
Drusus.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. What do we know of this individual?
Drusus Ferrer, he is hedge first rank. He's also of the Preclarum branch.
Okay.
He's that he's supposed to act as the driver of this like supposed supply caravan.
Mm-hmm.
He's talented with languages, with like codes, that kind of thing. Is mostly his specialty. You don't have like a huge service history on him. Like, he's not like the most experienced person, but he clearly has a specialty.
Yeah. Also, you don't get to peek into the Preclarum branch's service history very easily, do you? Right.
Nope.
So, sounds like the chap is probably going to be friendly, at least by training, if not by nature. I would probably we don't need to role play through it, but open up with like checking with him on what kind of supplies we have, just so it's understood throughout the mission. But then honestly, just kind of like fall into friendly banter, conversation, that sort of a thing. Tesh has kind of described his character as being very authoritative and is not one for conversation or playing around.
yeah.
So I'm not going to talk to him unless it's strictly of the importance of the mission, or there's an opening there. And Varlin is a legitimately evil slave hunter, so definitely not gonna. But like, my character's not a douche, and so he would definitely open up to and have pleasant conversation with the other character that's with him, right? So a bit of a friendly banter there, and see where things go.
Yeah. If you just want kind of fast play through it, he is legitimately a friendly person. He opens up pretty easily, especially once it's clear that you're not like trying to get something out of him or like testing him, and you're just kind of chatting with him. He's very clearly pretty nervous about this mission, but he seems to handle it very well. It only really comes out when he just like some of the jokes he makes or whatever makes it clear that obviously he's kind of got the butterflies about it, but he's just keeping it in.
Yeah, like
Um,
being
uh,
both dad and like long term military, knowing he's the early rank. Do you like the whole like you got this job because you're up for a promotion, kind of like that whole like uplifting, But either way,
Yeah,
so
just kind of
are
prop him up.
any of either of you or Drusus very perceptive?
no,
No.
I have a plus.
No.
I have a
What
plus
about you,
0.
Valen?
What?
Are you very perceptive?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right for a level, what I am.
Yep. Then you would probably notice that Jaren definitely, while he doesn't ever engage in those conversations, what he does is make sure he is sort of like near enough by to get a feel of the conversations and make sure that like it's almost like he's wanted this sort of stuff to happen between the two of them because it makes them. He doesn't want to be part of it, but he wants to make sure that they are getting along.
Valen just keeps doing what he's doing. No
Yep.
reaction.
Fair. But yeah, it does seem to help. Like the fact that you clearly have his back, and you're not just like tense. Oh, I don't trust anyone kind of person. He gets like a peek behind that, all that, and then like that kind of thing does seem to help him loosen up a bit. Cool. You guys continue your trek. Any other RP amongst yourselves, or you're just past the day?
Not for me.
I think the only thing is that Jaren would be like there's the slightest change in the way that he deals with Marcellus in that like it's almost like there was for a brief moment he started to think less of Marcellus, but now he's very much like, okay, no, this is good. He's back to where he was originally talking to Marcellus. I don't know if Marcellus himself would notice it, but that's sort of how it goes.
Unconcerned.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely had like there's some rations and things that were brought along. You expected there to be a little bit of a hike. You're obviously expecting to get a bit
I guess the only
resupplied.
thing
Go ahead.
that I will say, like RP wise, Valen would probably notice that the way I act and move around is very specifically, even if it's not exactly what you would do for a attack dog, say, or a tracking dog, so to say. He's definitely making sure to not do things that would agitate animals. So you can tell that there's some experience dealing with animals, where he makes sure to like not cross in front of abruptly, not just a lot of small things like that as they travel.
Yeah, you'll notice for the most part, the dog is out in front. Like he'll disappear for a while, and as we're walking, he'll catch back up to us, and it's like he's scouting around. Like right, that's what he does.
Perfect.
Hell yeah. Cool. Yeah, you guys get through the day, and you do see, or as you're like looking into the distance and such, it's getting harder to look into the distance because you're heading into more overcast terrain. Excuse me 1 second.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
But good and bad on both sides.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's not quite getting dark. You started obviously very early before the sun was even up. But it is getting a little bit more overcast, so it's getting harder and harder to see into the distance. You don't see any distant fires or anything like that stands out yet. But at some point, Varlin, you'd probably be the one who would know that you guys are approaching the border, and it's like your luck's intact. It looks pretty clear. You don't really see anyone moving around there. No signs of like camps, anything like that in the area. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just to say, I'm very much keeping an eye out. If you want me to make a perception, I will, but I very much like his attention is on everything around. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
it is a round of perception checks time.
Yeah,
Just getting to
I
that.
figured as much.
Does the dog get
Damn.
one here too?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
absolutely.
a 5 as well. God damn it. I'm rolling so terribly. I haven't rolled over 10 yet, and I've got good modifiers for once.
I assume I'm rolling as well.
Yes.
Oh, I rolled shit.
Sheesh. Cool.
Good. Varlin rolling a goddamn 25. God damn.
Well, that was for his eavesdrop.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the
That was the
eavesdrop.
old one,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
That was the old
Oh,
one.
this is bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
He still rolled the best.
He did. And a 16, mind you, is not bad at all.
That's true.
Um,
That was if the first proper roll for like stuff to go wrong, that's about right. That's
no
about right.
worries. No worries. They're not all going to be life and death. Only sometimes.
So far, there hasn't been a single campaign where I haven't rolled double nat ones on advantage yet. So we'll see if this
shit.
works out.
We got to find a way to get you advantage so you're so you
Yeah,
can
so I
hold
can roll
true.
double nat ones.
Yeah. Okay. So with a 16, Varlin, you actually do spot something as you guys are crossing the area that you know should be like kind of the border between the two countries, crossing that no man's land.
There
You
is
do
luck.
find-
Do we wanna... I forgot luck is the thing we're doing.
You do
we
have
wanna
luck if you
one
want
of
to.
those?
If you want to.
Yeah,
Before
I would
come here.
support Varlin lucking.
You want
Yeah,
me to?
Varlin's definitely
Yeah.
the
Both in game and out of game. Yeah.
Oh, I have to add it to the thing in this game.
Oh yeah, it's over in the whatchamacallits.
No, but if it was,
Tesh has been
Tyler.
subbing for Wade since
No.
the two of them met in Australia that time. I mean, Wade didn't even use lube, Tyler.
Well,
Oh, well, there's
Wait a
no luck, so.
Tyler, my luck in
me
games
make
is
sure,
well
let
known
me-
to be abysmal.
I just realized I was not paying attention to that. Let me double check, make sure you didn't get luck, and I just didn't see it.
Tyler was there though, actually.
See, Tyler has the footage.
Yeah, I very much I have a curse where I will either roll abysmally all game, or for an entire game, or I will roll amazingly one session and terribly the next, and there's no in between.
Looks like no luck.
So
Wait.
actually, both Wade and Giselle did one. Wade at
I'm seeing a lot
an
of
hour
gifted
ago and
subs.
Giselle 12 minutes ago, under the recent events on Streamlabs.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Have
at
you
recent
accidentally got a
events.
filter in there?
Oh, let me check. I never add filters.
I never do either. I just track it as it goes. But and Snaga just
I
did
only
one.
do
Sna-
too.
I see-
filters
I
when
see
I'm
the one
trying to
Snaga
get,
just did.
Yeah,
If you
I
didn't
only
have the
filter
website
when-
opened, it doesn't always show you things that prior to you having the page open. So
Yeah.
if you just opened it
It must have
recently, it
skipped
wouldn't
them.
have showed you. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's showing me a bunch of other stuff from that time frame, like all the
Mm-hmm.
gifted subs and stuff. Okay, so yeah, how many are you seeing? Other than so that'd be a total of
I see.
four?
I see 3 now, 4 because of Wade. Yep.
Okay, but there were 2 redeemed before this. So sorry, go ahead and Jake. You can
Correct.
roll. You can roll
That
up
that I
now.
saw. I may have also opened it late, but go ahead, Jake.
So I'm good to just click roll luck again?
Yeah, you got it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Refilling
Okay,
my
Huzzah.
total of 18. I can now give you a little bit more then.
Hey, that's much nicer. That makes me feel a lot nicer.
So you actually do find some evidence of previous camps where there were some obvious
Okay.
like cooking fires and that kind of stuff set up. Nothing big enough that it was supposed to give off a ton of light or warmth, just something to warm the cook pot. You see a couple of those, and you can also, if you guys want, not once you see that and are able to point it out, if you want to roll survival checks, I'll add that on top of the rest of this information I'm giving.
Well, just him, or can we, if he's pointed that out, do we all roll survival?
I'm assuming he points it out to you, but that's up
Alright.
to Jake.
Actually, yeah, good point. Woody pointed out.
Nah, I got this.
Fair enough.
Okay. Cool. So it's a survival check.
God damn, yeah, no, he got this.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So you definitely find a little bit of evidence down there. You kind of kick around a little bit, some like burnt up sticks and whatnot. At first, it seems like there might have been a pretty big group that came through here. Maybe 8 or 9 people, big group for like scouts, right? Like basic patrols. But once you look a little bit deeper and you're finding some of the boot prints and such, I mean, this is plains. It's not even particularly grassy out here, and hasn't rained in a bit. It's kind of dry. So you actually are finding some tracks. If you were a bit less skilled, it would be pretty difficult to tell like what direction that like the people that here were moving, and it would be more difficult to tell the number. But you've definitely had to determine these kind of things before, and in much more critical situations. You can definitely tell this was a much larger group than it seems like, based on the fact that they had like maybe a couple of cook fires going. There's more than 9. You're probably actually looking more like a couple of dozen that came through here. But the good news is, because of your very high roll, you can tell that they were headed along the border, up north, not necessarily the same direction you're going. So they should not be an issue for you.
Can he determine by like? Sorry, can he determine by like boot prints or the style of boots or whatever it is that the like what kind of soldiers, like were these definitively Del soldiers or?
I mean, honestly, with that roll, I would say so. Yeah, these would match what you've seen on Del patrols before. You do see some prints that are that do not have boots, barefoot prints, probably prisoners. So
Yeah.
Obviously not the ones you're looking for because they're going the wrong way, but
Yeah.
they've got something to deal with, so you know that they shouldn't be an issue for you right now.
Yeah. Valen just says, oh, that's lucky. That's got to be a couple of dozen along the border with prisoners. I don't think we'll run into them, but be careful.
Noted. At least this is after the fact, not while we're here.
We go to the same
Let's,
location?
Yeah.
Actually, oh, okay.
Is it possible that they would have trailing scouts, or can we just follow in their footprint?
Oh, are we going? Yeah. Are we going in the same direction? I thought that was something else for a second.
To be clear, no. They're going. You're going east. They're going north. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he just says, "No, we're still going east. They're skirting the border."
Do you know where they're bringing them?
Well,
In the direction of the boots.
I mean, do you know where their destination is?
No, I'm not with them. Somewhere up north.
so I'm gonna sort of interrupt this this conversation. Are these coming from the camp that we're like? Did these come? You say come from the south to the north, right?
Yeah, they're going north from south. Correct.
Yeah. So it's unlikely that they came from the camp we want. Correct.
Unlikely, yes.
Yes.
Unlikely,
basically, I know that he knows the area more than I do, so I'm going to ask just in case. Okay, then it's unlikely that that they've moved who we want yet. Good. We can, and then I probably just good and try and end the conversation there as let's keep moving.
Let's see. Do any of you have knowledge Jovincia or just knowledge geography?
No. I got my knowledge is profession soldier. That's it. It's high, but that's all it is.
I have Arcana, Nature. Oh, I should roll Nature earlier. Nobility and Religion. So no.
Okay.
I actually don't think I have a single knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay, well, you have Drusus, who does have a knowledge geography.
Nice. Yeah. So that's
Uh,
I profession soldier. I make sure I have people with profession knowledge.
I did not roll well. so
I
so
will not
he also
know
doesn't
that.
know. Yep, he just doesn't
Okay.
know and says nothing.
Then yeah, just we should keep moving.
If you are trying to figure out like maybe where they could be being taken, you can try to roll profession soldier. But if you'd rather proceed without that information, that's fine.
Actually, I think what he would do is he would sort of think about it himself. He doesn't want to derail the mission, but this might be acknowledged to hand it to someone later, is what he's thinking. Like, this is something. So I will roll just in case
Okay.
I figure out something. Oh, that works.
Total of 20.
Um,
Not bad.
Yeah.
Keeping that.
Like I said, no knowledge, profession soldier. So yeah, he would probably have a think about it just in case it's something to tell someone later.
Okay. Keeping that total, or you
No, I'm gonna
want to
keep that
modify
total.
it at all? Okay.
I think
I'll keep mine.
I'm happy with that for what is, as far as he's concerned, not important right now.
Fair enough. Okay. That 20 gets you basically if they're marching up that direction, he's even mentioned that there'd be like patrols and stuff out here. The unfortunate reality is they probably will come back this way. You'll thankfully be long gone, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like the likely thing is they are looking for people who are crossing this border.
Right. In that case, it might be best to at least try and cover our tracks here in this specific spot, where like is in like where they're going to come back through. So I might actually say, hold up. There's a good chance that more patrols are going to come through this route if this is somewhere they use. Let's just make sure we're not leaving any evidence that we came through here. Don't need to be perfect, just need enough that they don't look too closely. And he's gonna get to doing that. And
How do
I
you propose
assume
we do
Vala,
that?
well, this is where like he would Tesh doesn't know, but but I have a good survival, and I assume Valen does too. So covering tracks would not be unknown to me, and I assume him.
Yeah.
I got a +4.
Yeah, no,
It's just I just know that covering tracks, like as a mechanical thing, takes like a long time, especially if we're going to be
does it?
backtracking. Yeah, because we'd have to backtrack and then cover what, a mile, and then we have to cover where we
Oh.
are, and then cover as we go forward. So we might be
No,
wasting
so
more time
He
for that.
just wanted to make sure that like where we are now is not obvious someone came through here. Like for whatever reason, just doesn't need to be good. Just making sure we didn't leave a boot print at an exact angle to their like boot prints, stuff like that. It wouldn't be a in-depth thing, just a quick little like making sure.
Effectively,
It's
your
not-
tracks would stop here, or at least get harder to see here.
The idea is less that the harder to see here. The idea is to not make sure that we've got fully covered tracks. It's just to make sure that if someone's marching through here, they don't go, "Why is that boot print sideways?" And then go, "Hang on, look closer and see our tracks," sort of thing.
If Valen just answers Marcellus when he says that, and he just says, just stick to harder ground.
I can roll to assist if we're going to make a check for it, Keek.
Yeah, as I said, I'd be just doing a quick look down to make sure we didn't do anything obvious right where they walk through, and then we'll leave it at that.
Okay. So just to be clear, are you spending time trying to erase some of your tracks, or are you just going to try to move a bit more carefully going forward?
Probably, and since we haven't really gone through this area much, I'd say move carefully going forward. Maybe just, watch where you step and make sure you don't make obvious. It's in this sort of situation, I think what I would actually do is, given that right now Valen, even though I'm obviously the commander of this, Valen is currently leading us to where we need to go with his dog as scouting. I would take the rear just to make sure that we're not making really obvious issues for ourselves.
Yeah. As you're doing that, Valen, I guess, would just be like, it's probably better if we just make better time. You know, by the time the next group comes through, I mean, they could be here in an hour, they could be here in a day, 2 days. You know, we don't want to go too slow if we're planning on rescuing these friends of yours.
He'll think for a moment and then... Fine. You're right. Let's go. Tesh agrees, and Jaren probably would agree. It's like, yeah, you know what? I'm overthinking it.
Happens to the best
Aw.
of us. Okay, so yeah, no check need be made there. You just hurry along.
Yep.
Oh, my brain just stopped completely.
Hurrying to the meeting point.
Yes, hurrying along. Okay. So you pretty quickly make your way past this point, and there's nothing out here. Like I said, it isn't the grassiest of plains. It's outdoors, it's fresh air, so there is kind of there's a pleasantness to that, but it's pretty obvious that this area has been fought over many times over. Skirmishes. We're not
Okay.
talking giant, massive scale battles or anything like that, but just a lot of fighting taken place over these grounds before. It's patchy in spots. There's, just what's the word? But it's patchy. There's like occasional tufts of grass, mostly
Damage.
dirt. Some spots of it packed, some of it look worked. You're pretty sure there are remnants of old graves and such out of your way in the distance, unmarked. As you continue your way along.
Valen
just
does
realized-
point out, actually, at that he does say, heron graves. They're lucky. They actually get buried.
Can I roll a religion on that one?
Trying to determine like the style of burial, or
Yeah, because like the Dell, a lot of them worship Kraleen, and so they burn their dead, but not all of them do. So I'd be curious if there's any markings here that are worth noting, if we can get information about the fact that there's graves here.
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll.
That roll. I'm realizing now that in my mind I was picturing us going through like forested area, but I guess it's more plains. Like is what it actually is. Cool.
Yeah, it's a little
Lock that
barren.
in my brain. Yeah.
Can't roll too high, so
Total 12. Keeping that.
yeah.
It's tough to tell from the distance you're at. There's nothing obvious enough for you to make heads or tails of it. It's clearly not. They're clearly not Kraleen, right? They're not burned, and it would be a lot harder to see if somebody had just scattered ashes somewhere they'd have blown away by now.
Yeah.
With a 12, I can definitely give you that if you were near a like larger camp or facility somewhere that would be able to safely build hot enough fires to do a cremation, that's obviously the way that they would prefer to do it out in these types of areas. Those are probably hastily done.
Okay, makeshift graves. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Cool. So definitively there was a camp here as opposed to this. There was a settlement nearby or whatever it was. Okay.
Yeah, or there was a camp here.
More
Yeah.
temporary or was rather than large established.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That makes sense. I appreciate that.
Okay.
That's
You know,
good
keep
information.
going.
That confirms the information we were given, at least
Yeah.
for now.
Any commentary or anything on that, or just moving on?
No, like I look to the sides, it's kind of like looking after them, and like off to the ways a bit, but there's no new information, so I keep it to myself unless it's inquired. So I just keep walking.
Okay. You have definitively at this point passed into Jovencia. Past the no man's land of Jovance into the no man's land of Paradel. It gets more and more overcast, as said before. It is it is now clearly also getting darker. You can still see some stars and the like above, so you do still have decent enough light. You don't see any fires ahead or anything yet.
That's right. I meant
Varlin, you're leading. Give me one more survival here. This is for navigation.
Can I assist him?
Yeah, you guys. Anyone can assist if you want to.
Oh yeah, I can definitely. I definitely want to assist. I have good survival.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't assist.
Oh,
Damn.
But you give a +3. Yeah.
yeah.
Don't you have 8 allies? Aren't you Order of the Dragon?
Oh my god, that's a +4.
That's
I think that's a +4.
yeah, I do. Yeah, that's a
Holy
good point.
shit,
yeah.
you're really good. Oh my god, that's so good. Good
Alright,
call,
well.
Keegan. Holy shit.
Yeah, roll
Yeah.
a +4.
Good, very good call.
Is that with the
Hey,
+4?
Yeah.
Are we doing? I assume we're not doing nat ones and nat 20s, so maybe that's still.
Oh, on
okay.
skills? No. I hate that shit. Yeah, no.
I like it when it's done a specific way. I don't want it to be like this instantly succeeds, like or instantly fails. It's more something happens because of the 20, something happens because of the fail. Whether it's good or bad depends on if it's a 20 or a 1. It doesn't need to be instant win or instant fail. It's more something good happens or something bad happens with it.
15.
That's a modern concept that didn't used to exist before.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely I prefer that over just the succeed and fail thing.
Yeah, I usually just do.
100%.
I'm gonna bump that to a
Flavor.
15. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
well,
I
that's the
succeeded,
thing.
it's
One of-
like it is what it
One
is.
of my favorite things is like the idea that if someone gets a nat 20 on something that they shouldn't be able to do normally, it's like no, they don't instantly succeed, but maybe something good happens that allows them to progress because of it. Maybe it's not exactly how they wanted to succeed, but it's just that sort of like positive thing. It still gives you that sort of high of getting a 20, but without it being like make or break.
Oh.
Same with ones. Not instantly like fail at something you should be really good at. It's something happens where that's unexpected. Like
Yeah,
something
yeah,
tears a
absolutely.
little easier than expected, sort of thing, stuff like that.
yeah, that's not too bad. But in this case, he already succeeded, so maybe next time. But because yeah, it was just basic navigation. There's not a lot of room to get lost out here, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's just at the moment you're trying to keep as reliably east as you can because the waypoint that you're expecting you haven't seen. Might even be getting a little frustrated. Like they know that you're gonna need their damn campfire to like get you to the camp, and they haven't lit it yet. But thankfully,
just to confirm, the potion belt on the shoulders, I'm trying to remember, that's a swift action to use the ones that are in the belt.
correct.
If you have the Masterwork version, yeah.
Yeah, he has the. quick one.
Mine had 3 SP on it, whatever that means. It was quick potion belt 3 SP, is what you sent me.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's the quick one. Cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've got.
I might have
sensors
charged
in
you
there,
too
and I
little,
was
but
just-
that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah, I've got keen sensors in there just to make sure I've got it ready in case I need to be able to see in a situation where we can't see easily.
Yeah. Right now, not an issue. You haven't quite
Yep.
entered into like.
I just wanted
dim
to
light
make
yet,
sure that
but you're getting there.
I just wanted to make sure I understood how that worked in case it came up.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Thankfully, with the 15, at first maybe you were getting a little bit off track, and then at some point, you notice Gorjaw's like pulling one direction and such, keeps getting distracted by something, and maybe that gets your attention back another direction, and you start to realize that you're not leaving a lot of tracks, but there's a bit of dust left in your wake and stuff, and you kind of are noticing where it's drifting in spots that, yeah, y'all have curved off a bit, so you're able to correct that course, just so you don't keep going off course and end up
could've been bad.
further away from your destination. So you're able to correct the group, get back on track, and thankfully, right as it's getting to the point where it's starting to get a little too fucking dark to navigate blind, Um, and you know, you might even hear Drusus is like, "Are we sure this camp's out here?" You know, like a couple complaints. You finally see some orange light in the distance, maybe another hour's walk away, not very far. They just took their damn time. And you continue that direction. Imagine not too much else in the interim. Anything as you're approaching what is supposed to be this camp?
I mean, it's one of those things where if we're all seeing the thing approach, is that correct, Keegan?
You're seeing yourselves approach the camp.
Yeah, exactly. And it's decent sized, right?
It is. Let me describe a bit more then, because it seems
Sure,
like maybe
yeah.
you're going to want more information before you decide to act.
Yep.
This is pretty small. It's one campfire. You do see a tent is set up, and you do see. Okay, yeah, you can see the cart that you guys are supposed to be wheeling in. And there is a horse attached to it that someone is like unhitching and whatnot down on it. The movements are pretty clearly labored. Whoever this is pretty tired. Another person comes like crawling out of the tent and whatnot, sees you all. There's like a moment of trying to decide something, and then they kind of give like a quick wave. So they obviously recognize something about you all.
Oh, so they notice us.
But,
Okay.
Yeah, because you're technically just in the open, right?
Yep.
And you see them walk over to the other person. You only see a third. You see a third coming into view from down. It's not a very big hill, just enough that there's like a slight difference in the vision. You see another one coming over there, hauling something. Looks like a sack, and they've got something else in their other hand. They come like lay down, but you only see the three people as you're approaching. One tent, three folks, cart, horse.
I don't draw a weapon, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I have my I get my shield off my back, and the idea is that like not to look threatening, but also not to be caught off guard, just in case.
You said time of day is nighttime, correct?
So like evening. So sun is
Evening. Okay. And how far
sun
are
is
they?
not quite set, but it's setting. You've got maybe 300-400 feet.
Oh, okay. So a good distance between us and them.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna draw from my my side as opposed to my sword. I'm gonna draw this this small almost kind of looks like, if you will, it looks kind of like a cudgel. It's actually, well, I say small. It's actually about 3 foot long. Very ornate looking stick. It's like a hardened wooden stick. That's it's called a ferula. It is a like a cudgel that's used by the Gish as one of their weapons that they use for non-lethal combat or for even focusing their magics through. And so he draws this and has it at the ready and just kind of prepares his mind in case there's a spell that need be cast. And I'm going to position myself in such a way that I'm going to be rather central to the group of us. So definitely not too far away from, what's his name, Drusus. And again, rather central in case there's something I need to do. But otherwise, I'm not here to talk. I believe Drusus is the person doing so.
As we're approaching, then as for Varlin, he'll look to you guys. I think Tesh, you said your character was Are you out in the open, kind of like?
If they've seen us, I will be. We are in like an open plain, so unfortunately, we are all out in the open. I think.
Yeah.
But
there's like nothing to hide behind. It's just
yeah,
distance and dust that can.
That's where I got
you.
confused earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So with this group, are they so there's someone that Varlin deals with rather than they're not someone associated with us other than like through the deal that we've got going with Varlin and his, right?
Yeah, you know.
I don't think Varlin knows these people either, but he's been told that they're here, right? So
yeah, you know of them. They're not like your close friends or anything.
Yeah.
They've been paid.
Piggybacking off what I said before, you'll see Varlin actually gets low, even though there's nothing to hide behind. He gets low and almost like kind of not crawls, but is very low to the ground, and the dog does the same, and they kind of split a little bit.
If I see you doing that, what I will do is that I will very much like stand tall and try and make sure that they're looking towards me. And I will approach.
All right.
Yeah. So that starts happening.
Prepare an action to cast a spell, but go ahead, sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine. Drusus like noticed this and he's like, "Are we not supposed to be meeting these guys?"
Caution
Gotta make sure it's these
is
guys.
Oh shit. Okay.
caution is always the better option. Better someone dislike you for being untrustworthy than stabs you. No, for thinking they're sorry. Better someone for you not trusting them than stab you.
He says, "Yes, sir." So he's just walking up with next to you.
Yep. It's like these
Since-
people are getting paid, but they're getting paid. They're not part of us.
Since you took the lead, he just walks with you. He doesn't start anything.
Just as a note for you, I currently have the acid vial loaded into the breakaway.
Okay. Good to know.
Just tucked in there, yeah. And I'll approach up. I assume they've already seen that I have their attention. I will be watching them as we approach, just to make sure there's no sort of like they're not getting something out of somewhere they're hidden or anything like that.
Okay. Since you're attempting to draw their attention a bit, and Varlin seems to be trying to lie low a little, hoping that maybe the distance and encroaching darkness helps. Varlin, I will allow you to roll a stealth, but before you actually roll, I'm trying to think of what I can have Jaren roll to assist. It wouldn't be stealth. I think it's going to be
No.
bluff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
My bluff isn't good, but it's not terrible. So
This is
Right.
this is to aid technically. So
I cannot roll above 10. I think 10 is the high. Oh no, sorry, I did roll higher on that one assist.
10 is all you
Yeah,
need
that's
to
right.
assist. So Varlin, normally this would be a +3 from him. It still is going to be. It's just this scenario
yeah.
is a bit different. That's all.
+3.
Correct.
And am I rolling for the dog as well?
Yeah. You'll want to roll for Gorgia also.
Woof,
Yeah.
woof. Maybe they won't see the dog.
Does he
One
also get
day.
the aid?
One day.
You know what? Let's just. I'm hoping we're being overly paranoid. And we're getting our bad rolls out against the allies.
I think aid is singular. So that would be just for
Singular,
you.
That's
yeah.
fine. Okay.
He's going to be
And-
naturally
so yeah,
harder
these
to see.
these
but-
people
Well,
have
we're the same.
already been paid.
More or less.
Oh wow.
Yeah, pretty damn close. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. These people have. I think part of the worry for Jaren is these people have already been paid, and that's part of the problem. They've been paid, and so
Well, no guarantee they've been paid in full, right? That generally
that's
is
true.
not the case.
But he doesn't
I
have
just-
that information. They've been given money already, so there's a little bit of incentive for something to go wrong where they can get more money.
I like the fact that if things went sideways, the only one that's not going to be in my protection is Varlin, because he's so far away now. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, he breaks off. As you guys are approaching, you can see whichever of those three was throwing the bags down or whatever, kind of looks off to the sides, one side and the other, and kind of does this shrug, and shakes his head and continues doing whatever he was doing. The one who waved at you is still standing where they were standing. But as you're getting closer now, Jaren and Marcellus, because you guys are moving a little bit faster than Varlin since he's stealthing.
Yep.
As you're getting closer, you can see that he does have a crossbow at his side. It's not aiming it anywhere. Can't quite tell if it's loaded, but he is holding it. And then once you've covered about half that distance, he will call out something in Galden. Do either of you speak that?
All of us
Come
do.
on.
Yes.
Good. Good. You should. So he just says, I actually would assume you've probably all been speaking that to each other. So,
Or parent. Oh, would Drusus make us speak parent to practice?
he's not gonna have time to train an accent.
Okay.
out of
Yeah,
you
you're
in
gonna
that time.
work
You know what I
now.
mean? Yeah.
No.
Because like you speak it, it's just
Well,
like the accent is.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
It's more just like, yeah, worry about details now because that's the important part. Make sure you can't discuss details properly if you're not sure everyone understands exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he just calls out, you the folks from, across the lake.
Correct. I believe you have some supplies for us.
Supposed to, unless you're planning to rob us.
Not at all.
Just being cautious then.
As is the appropriate reaction. That's sort of saying that is like because he assumes with the way that they're talking and what he saw before, they probably know about I've already forgotten your name. God damn it, Varlin. So he said that as like a like everyone's being cautious sort of thing.
Yeah. So cool. He doesn't really reply to that. He just waits for you guys to all get up there.
So yeah, once we're up, we're expected to get a cart and disguises. Is there any other supplies I'm expecting?
Not specifics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No like specific supplies. Just know those things,
Yeah.
and that you will get some supplies. Because it wasn't like a
Okay.
defined thing other than those specific important ones before you had to leave, right? Had to go move pretty quick.
Given that they seem a little on edge, what I'm going to do to try and ease things out, because I'm not... It's one of those things where, like, I'd rather, if anyone's going to make them do something to make them feel comfortable that puts them in harm's way, I'm going to be the one to do it. So I'm going to put away my shield to make it so I'm fully not... I'm very much like standing down sort of thing. And then show me what you got.
Yeah, as soon as you all get here, I don't want to explain it twice.
If that
the
if
makeup
he's-
of
if he's
people
gonna-
here. Go ahead.
Sorry. So what'd you say?
Go ahead.
So I'm getting to that. He wants me to bring in Varlin.
He's just waiting for him to get over here. He's just moving a little bit slower than the rest of you. That's all.
Yeah. In that case, yeah, I do a look over and nod in towards Varlin as he approaches, being like, "Yeah, just come."
What is the makeup of people here? Like, is it a mix? Are they clearly
Oh, that's
Dell?
what we
Like,
lost.
what's the yeah?
As far as you can tell, all three of these people are Yovan. They're all human. Different skin tones, slight differences in hair color, all that kind of stuff. They're all pretty dirty. Like they've been out here for a while, so it's actually kind of tough to get a read on like their age or anything like that because they just look filthy and tired.
Other than the crossbow, what are the other two have weapons like at their side? Maybe not in their hands or anything, but like in a hilt or something.
Yeah, like once you like cover the rest of the distance and like having a full conversation, you can see one of them like props a crossbow up elsewhere. Another like holsters an axe into their belt again.
Cool.
You can definitely see that they're armed. In fact, the one who seemed to have maybe noticed Varlin, you can definitely tell the way they're walking. They've got like a very slight limp, like they might have an injury of some kind. But they're just gritting through it, whatever it is.
As we're waiting for Varlin to approach, probably any trouble yet?
None we weren't expecting. How you think we got the cart?
Well done.
Well, about as well as we could have done. By now, I'm imagining Varlin's got there unless he's got other plans.
Oh no, Valen does. Seeing everyone like come together, he does. But he'll go and he'll stand near Marcellus. I'd say he doesn't actually go up with Jaren.
Once you get there, you see the one who's been talking looks down at the crest on your armor. Seems to kind of like a look of recognition. Sort of nods to himself, and he's like, "All right, yeah, you're all here. It's who you're supposed to be, at least I think." And he looks to you, Varlin, actually, and he says, "Did what's his name already talk to you about the disguises?"
Yeah, there's only two, right?
Yeah, you'll have to get the other ones. We got to get the hell out of here soon. But you got a good opportunity coming. Not too far further east of here is usually where their patrol route is. These clouds and shit are going to make it so they're going to have to light a fire to see. So you'll be able to spot them.
Do you know anything about those? A bit of a ways back, there was a big party that came through. Dozens. Prisoners and all.
Yeah, those guys. We dodged them. Big ass group of them. I think it was a couple of them at once. They saw some folks crossing and chased them down. I guess they figured there might be more to catch, so they kept going. Just kept their whole group together. I don't know about commanders and whatnot, but they clearly had a couple of leaders that banded together. They're headed up north though, so we got a little while before they come back down south. If they started heading this way, we wouldn't have been here. No offense.
Yeah, none taken.
Yeah, they're Del. You're wondering. Folks they caught weren't.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, that might help us in that the patrols, those patrols specifically, work together and have moved away for now. That takes a few out of the equation.
Well, they moved north. I wouldn't call that away. I'd say west is away, but away enough.
Out of the equation for now.
Oh, the hand. So he shrugs and says, "Look, if you're heading east, you're probably you're probably safe from them. You know, you're already ahead of them anyway. They're a way bigger group than you, so they're gonna move slower.
A group
You ain't
like
gotta
that
head-
you have to run from anyways. This small group, the patrol you said. Oh, what's it look like? What's the makeup?
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. That's right. The that group, we saw 5. One's not with them anymore. I don't know if he ran back or if he went and reported somewhere. We were already trying to stay out of sight. But he looks back at the one who's like starting to like put some kind of animal on a spit. He goes, "It's still 4. It's still 4. So if you mess up 2 of the uniforms, there's still 2 more."
And the group, because they hinted at earlier that they took down a group to get this cart. How many in the group that you took down?
Oh, to get the cart? 7. There were more of us then too, though, and we gave them a reason to go off the road that would have been familiar to them.
Understood.
But
And
he goes, "Yeah, but all your stuff's here. The stuff that we were promised, that's on its way back home."
perfect. No, I'm going to assume the cart was obviously going somewhere that wouldn't know that they're gone until we're done.
You can assume, or you can ask.
I'm going to shoot. Where was? I'll ask. Where was the cart bound to?
Where it's headed.
Give us an idea. Oh, I was glad. Gives us an idea of how long till word comes that it didn't arrive.
It's arriving. We are the ones arriving it.
Yeah, he goes, no, where it's headed. That's
Oh, it's going.
You're the
there.
reason it's going
Okay.
to turn up, right? Yeah, just make an excuse about
My
the weather or
apologies.
something slowing you down, or you broke a wheel. Who knows? You guys know what you're doing. Smiles.
That works.
Doesn't exactly work. There were 7. There's 4.
Yeah.
How many of them are in their group? The group that we're talking to now?
There's
Um,
3.
Looks like you should be coming along.
That would be more disguises to manage, and it's easy enough to talk about maybe the patrols that came through. That they found some people. Maybe some others got through and attacked. We lost a few. It shouldn't come
you can
up.
roll a sense
I doubt
motive
they
if
have
you like.
exact numbers on. It shouldn't come up. I doubt they have exact numbers on the guard that were coming on this exact cart. But if it does, a little bit of the truth works.
Yeah.
If
We'll
we're
say
going to use the
Scott
truth,
and Jake,
perhaps,
you guys can roll sense motive real quick if you want.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Valen doesn't care.
Okay.
That's fair. I don't blame
Love
you. He's like,
Were you saying I could roll sense motive as well?
this was like while you're talking, so
Oh, okay, then yeah,
You're gonna
that's
have
fine.
it.
just before I use the meta mechanic, what's the who's this against, or is it like a vibe in general, or what?
this is against the guy who's talking. It's to try to see if you can interpret, like, is he hiding? Is he about to hide something? Like, what his attitude is. So it's not it's not the hunch.
I'm gonna use a luck on this one. I just have to add it to my bar. There we go. Roll luck.
Covert. I mean, this also checks out because like covert operations
Oh,
are
nice.
not what I'm good at.
Um,
I'm much more shove a shield in your face.
Yeah, technically it's not what either of you are good at, but this stuff can get hot. So with your 19, which is solid, very solid, Marcellus, you can tell. So as God names, as Jaren is like saying, oh, like that'll be too many disguises. The dude's like nodding along with this. Like, obviously, he didn't have a counter for your like, oh, so you guys should be coming with us. Like, maybe they got paid for a little more than they're insinuating.
Oh.
But he's like jumping onto this like, oh yeah, that's a good reason you don't want to have to get more disguises than you've got, that kind of thing. But you can tell that there's a bit of opportunisticness there.
Mm-hmm. So Tesh's character
Unless-
says that more disguises or whatever it is, and since I pick it up, I say,
Sir, if they're expecting 7, they're going to expect 7 to arrive, or 4 with 3 bodies.
And you can get the bodies too.
Or
How
we can
many,
arrive with
there was
7.
4 in that other group.
I'm gonna roll an intimidation check when I say that.
I was about to say, is it intimidate or diplomacy? Which are you going for?
I got,
Intimidate works.
intimidation every
Yeah.
day. Woo!
Oh, hell yeah!
This
That's what I'm good at. Let's go,
You
baby.
know what?
fucking hell.
Jaren would respect that, actually.
Go!
So his reaction to that is he actually, like, he meets your gaze and he actually doesn't quite square up, but he does face you a bit. Like he kind of sizes you up for a second. And then there's just enough, like, of a deflation that you pick it up. It's just enough where it's like, okay, he clearly backed down. He's like, okay, look, you're not getting us into the Del camp. We can show up. Maybe, we're part of the escort or something. Maybe you hired us as security, and once you get there, that's on you.
I don't respond. I'll look to the boss.
Yeah, I mean that sounds reasonable, right? You can. This is where Tesh's knowledge of this sort of stuff fails. I don't.
It
Jaren would know a
probably
lot
sounds
more about
reasonable. Well, like Jarn was already willing to accept that they didn't want to come along,
Yeah,
or they didn't need to come
He
along.
definitely
So like
likes
this is
this idea
additional.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
It is
definitely
better.
likes this idea better. And do they already have disguises, or is it like the idea that like, because there's 4 in that camp, right? The
there
4, maybe 5.
there's 4 scouts you're going to be going after.
Yes,
At least according to their
that's
information.
6. That's 6 disguises total,
Mhm.
unless that we find the 5th person.
Unless you find the 5th person, yeah.
So yeah, then the idea would be what we do if we try and play it off with one of. I mean,
in the meta Tesh, we could like split a disguise. If 2 of them are hanging
I
back, we
was
can give them half
about to say
disguises
that.
each.
Like,
yeah.
make sure they
Like-
just look that they've been given at least bits and like the regalia of some sort. Shabby soldiers are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These
No,
people are from Yovance, then, right?
Yeah. You're almost certain.
Do they
of
have
it.
any markings like Valen does, indicating they
good
belong
point.
to a certain place or people?
They do not. They're definitely mercenaries. Like it's pretty obvious, but like they
Oh,
don't have any
they're
marks
not
of a
part of a
specific
family?
company.
All right.
Who disguises in a trench coat?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Or at least they're not wearing. They don't have it on their person
well played. I think
for
I
some
think
reason.
Jaren likes the idea of them being there to at least lend some credence to the 7-man thing. I think I think Jaren actually probably prefers the idea of them leaving because he's not sure about them in a combat situation. They might just try and get out of Dodge and cause more problems.
And get out of Dodge.
Yeah. So Valen actually speaks up at this point. He's like, "Where's your mark?"
There's an agreement beforehand where we don't get to be part of a house for this. Keep some squabbles down.
Right. But you do have a deal with the house, right?
Yeah. We're well, at least some of us are from ones you'd know, but we ain't supposed to say. He actually
Yeah,
kind
I
of
get
gives one of the others like kind of a little bit of a dirty look, who returns it, but it's brief.
Yeah. Valen just says, well, whatever your deal was, you know as well as I do, you better keep up to all that's been promised. You know, we're already down 2 disguises. Who's going to answer for that?
He goes, hey, look, that's not our fault. But all right, look, we'll tag along, okay? We'll get you to the gate.
Do what your job is. That's what we do.
Okay.
Give me a diplomacy, Varlin.
Not that gate. Not that gate.
Diplomacy. I think I took that off my sheet. That's how you.
Oops.
Just a straight charisma will work.
There you go.
9. Okay. You can keep the 9.
Do you want me to roll to assist? I have a -1. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
Okay. Then yeah. You just say that and he lets out like not like a scoff, just kind of a grunt. He's like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay, then I'll just say, let's work on getting those scout uniforms first, shall we?
You guys are fit for that? Haven't you been walking all day? It's not just over the hill, it's a little ways.
Yeah, he meant like planning that sort of thing first, rather than like worrying about walking up to the gate. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
One step at a time. So I missed it earlier. I assume they gave us like a direction on where the camp is.
They would get ready to do so. Now that it's kind of been decided what your plan is.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys kind of settle in, start making your part of your own camp, or you have other stuff to say that right exactly at that moment.
No, because this doesn't have to be RP, but he would actually he would actually probably ask who's the person who scouted, and like go up to him and like talk it through with him about like what he saw, whereabouts, the terrain, stuff like that. That we don't need to RP that until later, but like he would make sure he went over that before he started setting up camp, just so he could start thinking about stuff.
Okay. It does get a bit more involved. The person who's scouting is like, yeah, I can look. We have like a map and stuff I can show you, but you don't want to get caught with it, so you're gonna have to remember some stuff. You want to do this now? We can. I just figured y'all wanted to, maybe get your bedrolls set up.
Yeah, Valen walks off and starts doing it at this point.
All right. As much as he wants to do it now, everyone else is probably tired enough that it can wait.
You can see that they've like started cooking and whatnot. Cool. Any conversation amongst yourselves before you rejoin for planning?
Yeah. At one point, they're gonna go up to Varlin. I'm gonna walk up to him and say,
Hey, as we approached, you slink off and we're trying to get the drop. Better angle, I assume?
Yeah, well, this one, and he looks over to Jaren. He's like, he's out in the open there, drawing their attention. So usually it's just me and Gorjaw, and he kind of like just pats him on the head. He's like, that's how we get by.
If you're going to take that tactic, just know that it does run counter to what it is I can provide for you. You were well outside the boundaries.
he takes a moment to look around to see if there's not going to be too much attention here. There's no real patrols around, but then when he sees that the others are kind of like busy cooking or whatever it is, maybe even Jaren kind of like talking to him or whatever it might be, he'll take a second and with his pulling his cudgel out, he's actually gonna spend a second. He'll focus again. Doesn't need to say any words. Does a couple of hand gestures or whatever it is while he's focusing, and you'll actually see like a mostly transparent wall, almost acts kind of like a dome, or a sphere dome appears in front of where we are, and it makes a mostly transparent wall that sits about 15 feet out from where we are. If I'm standing by you, and it sits up there. And while concentrating on it, so he's not able to talk so deftly because concentrating on a spell, right? He says,
It'll slow attacks down. Bolts can deflect them. Magics even. But if you're too far away...
And then just to accentuate the point, he lets the wall kind of like fade, which as it fades, it almost like collapses down into almost like the magic is like snowing downward simultaneously while fading out of view.
Well, then you're on your own.
See, Valen gets almost like a shiver down his spine as you're doing the magic, and he's like, "Is that?" And he whispers, "Is that magic?"
Recognizing the not necessarily aversion, but like the lack of familiarity with it, he says,
Have you never witnessed it before?
No, heard stories, but
Yes, it's magic. I don't tend to use it frivolously. It's a gift and a burden. But so that you do have a degree of familiarity, in case it needs to be there, may I invoke something on you?
yeah.
he takes a second and he'll step back. That way you don't feel as though like I'm crowding you, since there's discomfort there. He takes a step back and he'll actually pull out his cudgel, the 3-foot stick I mentioned before, and that's meant for fighting, and holding it in his hands, he'll actually same idea, kind of like do a gesture towards you. Well, again, doesn't need to say any words, just like really focusing on you as he does so. And I'm gonna cast Aegis on you. I do have to spend one of my spell pool to do so. When I cast Aegis on you, it'll last for the next hour. You'll actually get a deflection bonus to your AC. So immediately when it goes on to you, oh, sorry, it's touch. So I do take a step back, but I have to reach out and touch you quickly with my hands. So your skin will actually have this like faint blue aura that lasts less than half a second before it almost like kind of like fades into you. But you gain a +1 deflection bonus to AC for the next hour. So your character, you can like feel the magic encase you for just a second, but then you falls to feeling normal. Go ahead.
Yeah. He just like, oh, what was that? My skin.
It's a
What
barrier.
does it do?
It's adds the second layer of skin that's invisible. It won't always help you, but it could turn a glancing blow. It can save you the infections that a mild cut can cause, or sometimes narrowly turn the broadhead of a bolt as it soars towards your neck.
Is it? That's amazing. Is magic common where you're from? From a
Not
Malta?
exactly. No, but when you're young, you're tested, and if you are found as having magic, you're expected to start training at it as a young age so you can better serve a Malta's military in our fight against the Del. Others go a different route, and some choose not to train at all, but that's generally frowned upon.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks. Like I said, I never seen magic before, and to be honest, something that you can't see kind of scares me a little bit. But yeah, I might like having you around.
He nods. He says,
I can only do so much. I'm not as powerful as maybe some of the stories that you've heard out of the Malta or what have you. I'm what you call a gish. I focus on fighting like you do. But I was born with magic in my blood, and I spent some time training in it.
Well, that's got to be handy. So, you have magic, and he talks a lot. Is that why he's the boss?
You're familiar with ranks, rank and file, military service?
Not really.
he shrugs and he says,
I don't know his whole story. Either he did some really impressive stuff in his youth, or he was born into a family that was able to cut the line. Whichever the case, he's got the rank, he calls the shots, and I'll follow them.
Yeah, that I can understand.
um, and with that, he just, kind of like a nod or whatever. And then, we'll go ahead away.
As you break away from that conversation, Jaren will catch your gaze and just give you a little like approving nod. Like he basically is like, well done for getting along.
I mean, he's not going to do anything dickish in his own head. He's thinking, I don't need the approval of some magister, but of course,
Yeah, that's fine.
overtly, he'll just give like an appreciative, like an understood back, you know?
Yeah.
But he's going to, go.
That nod is about the level of positive assurance he gives is that nod, and that's it. For
He'll
like
follow
anything.
He'll follow your orders, but he's still curious what kind of character you are. We'll find out.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
So after you get your all of your camp actually set up, you'll see that they actually do unpack some of the things off of the wagon and whatnot. They actually bring over an extra tent and just some other basic supplies that you might need, just in case you need them, just so you can get through the night and whatnot. And they're like, you're not messing up the like carefully positioned whatevers, that are supposed to go to the POW place. They've obviously got some things kind of to the side and whatnot. But once you get through that, and like they've clearly been cooking something over their fire, and you guys come together. By the time you come together to like make your planning meeting and stuff, it is properly dark. well into it, and to your human eyes, it looks like it does at night. It's dark as shit. But even deeper than that, yeah, you can see there being a difference between a normal clear night and one that is overcast, where you can't see any of the moons, none of the stars providing any kind of ambient luminance. By the firelight, no problem. But you imagine that even though Del tend to have better eyes for this, they're right. It wouldn't help them as much here.
Good.
So you gather together. They don't have like a proper table or anything. They just kind of clear a spot in the dirt and crouch around it. The one who's injured doesn't like sit down. He just kind of seems to like walk a little bit more, like he's trying to not keep his like muscles warm and whatnot. Doesn't want to get all stiff. But sticks around the area as well. And one of them will actually unroll a map. And it is not like this is a big world map. It's not even a map of all of like Jovincia or anything like that. It is just a small region, this space, and it's not like it's professionally done. A cartographer didn't slave over this, pun intended. None of that happened. This was clearly something like someone's okay with a quill, knows how to like put markers of terrain down on parchment, and did a pretty good job of it. So, so you are able to get a pretty decent idea of where you're headed. They kind of point out where you are in relation to this map, and there's like, oh yeah, here's that lake, that like southern lake of Amulta, and you guys probably landed about here or something, right? And you kind of get your bearings a bit. So from that, I believe we figured out none of you have knowledge geography.
No.
But your NPC does. So let me get that. I have Dane.
How
Daddy's
convenient.
dice. So I gotta roll these in here.
Please, Skillbot, do your thing. Skillbot, get us to combat so we can combat things in the face.
Right. Okay. 17's not too terrible. It's pretty bad for having a daddy's dice with it, but in general, it's enough.
Oof.
So he's able to figure out that where they're pointing, like the general area of where that those scouts will be patrolling, is, if you're just on foot, it'll be less than half a day before you're needing to be on like heavy lookout. So obviously,
Cool.
If you rest and everything, like it's dark now, but it's still very early in the night. Like by the time you guys are tired and everything, you started literally when it was still dark. You could get, assuming you turn in at a decent hour, you could get a pretty good rest, set out, probably get out there while it's still pretty tough to see. Assuming you make a pretty good pace.
Okay.
The main question is, how rapidly do you want to be able to respond to that situation? Like assuming everything goes well, assuming you take out these scouts, none of them escape, you get all of these uniforms. How close by do you want that cart to be?
Right, yeah.
Do you want to use it to get up on the scouts? How do you want to play that?
Yeah. So would the plan? So this is Tesh trying to go over the options. The idea being, if we keep it nearby, we could get. If the scout taking care of goes well, we can immediately sort of set up to go take it in, or do we have a time frame that we can probably get somewhere, have another rest, and then go in, or is it like we're reaching the point where we do that, get the stuff, and then go in, and that's pushing it?
I can answer that. If you wanted to do something like get this stuff, backtrack a bit to like maybe this camp or something maybe in between the two, because you need another rest, you can absolutely do that. The cart moves a lot slower than you on foot. It just does. Even though it's being pulled by horses, it's a heavy load of things. These are actually supplies for the camp. So it does slow things down. It means once you get those disguises and get rested up and then make your way to that temporary camp, a lot more time will have passed. There's more of a chance that they will notice something is wrong or the situation could change, that sort of deal. You'll be a little bit better prepared for it if any of you were injured, of course. But and that plan also keeps your cart, your horses, all that safe because they're not close to combat, any of that stuff. But it has its own risks.
The biggest risk that so the biggest thing that I think would be in the back of his mind is we know that there's a limited time frame before the person we're after gets moved, right?
Yes. You don't know what that time frame is. You just know it hasn't happened yet, so you're kind of lucky for that.
Yeah, and as much as I'd like to say definitely have the pull back and make sure we're good, I think it's probably better if we maybe not go up with the cart, but have the cart near enough that we can get ready and go to the camp after.
Okay.
Ideally, the rest would be better, but it's one of those things where we're starting to push our luck with time.
What time of year is it?
You are at... Okay, according to the calendar thing, it says summer, but I think you told me different.
No. We are in summer in our regular campaign. I don't know what time of year it is here.
I'm also very willing to bounce around ideas because while Jaren is a seasoned commander, Tesh is not.
Right. Late summer. You're in late summer.
So hold on. This is really important. Because it is the year 672, and because we are in the summertime of 672, it's a leap year. And so the day between the 6th and the 7th month is actually a holiday that exists that is in honor of the martyr. And it's definitely worshipped in Paradel, who have a deep love for the martyr. I'm curious what the date is to see if that's something that we could potentially use to our advantage for people being distracted or otherwise. That's literally it's a thing built into the calendar.
Yes. Shahid, that's right.
It's literally. I'm like, is the date? And my character's knowledge religion. I'll gladly roll to see if I would think of something like that. I just don't know what the date is.
I mean, if you're the fact that you're trained, like you have a rank in knowledge religion, that's not a thing you would just not know. As to, I guess the question would be like, as far as if you're going to roll, the question would be like, how might that affect this situation, right? What kind of things would let me see. That is.
It's a once every 4 years, because every year they worship Lady Aravel Dark Eyes, right? That's their New Year's. Mm-hmm. But once every 4 years they worship. It's on the calendar in the World Anvil. Wade in the World Anvil. Wade. It's been in there. Wade for a long time. Wade.
Hey Scott, the World Anvil is still on year 671.
Yeah. I know that.
Just so you know,
the other article is updated. This one was just. I'll fix it now.
I did.
I mean, that could definitely be useful, even if it's not the direct date. Like, that's the sort of thing that even just like casually bringing up would make things normal. Like that can be a very easy way for Drusus to change the conversation if it's starting to head in a direction that makes things difficult to explain.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's late summer, which would be okay. I can't tell by the calendar which day that actually lands on.
Oh, so that's because it lands between. It's a leap year, so it lands between the 28th of Nair and before the 1st of Dolin.
That's what I was about to ask. Okay, yeah. So so it's the question of like, are you you're about to enter late summer, or are you
I mean,
right
it's
on
like
the border?
Yeah, it's up to you,
is
man.
It approaching it?
Okay, you know what?
I
like the idea enough, and I didn't set a date.
Yes! Yes!
Oh,
DM
hell yeah.
laziness! Yes!
I do like the idea. That's surprisingly clever.
All right.
I love it.
Wait a second. Who redeemed that?
Oh, probably Wade. You know how Wade is.
Yeah.
What did he redeem?
Insult Scott specifically.
Oh,
so- yeah,
Nice.
because that's definitely a command. So yeah, we'll say you are on the 28th of Nair.
Damn.
Sorry, I think it's Nair.
So tomorrow is the holiday. Then,
Yeah.
is it?
Yes.
So
Oh.
I'll
1 second, because there's a supplemental piece of information I think is helpful.
Oh, okay.
From where the scouts are, again, this is assuming everything goes well, it is maybe a couple of hours to the actual POW camp. So
Okay.
you can reach that reasonably in the same day, not be exhausted, that kind of thing. Like they're close enough.
Yeah.
That's the other piece I just wanted to make sure got out there so I didn't forget. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if he does bring that up, that's 100% sounds like the right call, because we can use the fact that there is that sort of the
do
guards
an
and
RP.
everyone will probably be already. Oh,
Yeah, he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'll bring it. Yeah, I got you. I go.
I
Unless
guess
I'm
how
mistaken.
I'll like. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Unless I'm mistaken, tomorrow is Shahid. It's the day in honor of the martyr, and that's
Who's that?
the martyr.
Yeah.
I derailed. I look flabbergasted.
One of the gods that the Perrin worship, I believe.
Not just the
honestly, he
Perrin.
never cared enough to look into this stuff.
Yeah, hold on. It says
Not just the Perrin. It's the martyr. The-
Oh, dude, that's me not getting that wrong. Is that something
I mean,
that
Tesh,
would be...
if anybody should know about the martyr, it should be you.
I know the martyr. I don't know how much a soldier in a Malta would know the martyr.
To be
I mean-
fair, her page makes it
Yeah.
seem like she's very Adir specific.
Yeah. She's
Yeah,
very
that's-
regional. You're not wrong. My character,
I would have heard
course,
of
holds
them,
his,
basically.
my
Yeah.
character holds her close to his heart because of his beliefs. But
Yeah.
he says
You would say...
so.
when you correct it, we say, I meant in this situation.
She's a goddess of protection and, well, martyrdom.
He leaves it at that, like lets it linger for a second, like that should explain itself, but then doesn't want to linger for too long on educating some Yavin on faith, and just turns his attention back to the point and says,
Well, it's a holy day in Paradel and to other people. I'm not sure exactly how they worship that day, or specifically their military. If anybody here might be familiar with how the Padel military would worship on that day.
he says, intentionally not looking at his commander, who's Del.
Yep. I may not know that specific holiday because I was only there for a little while, but I might know how especially the Inclame side of the military would treat a holiday of some kind. Would I have any like information on that, Kikin?
That makes sense, Tesh. That's why you have
Oh.
two greater on profession soldier than me. I know a Maltese life, but you also know Del soldier life too. So that's where you get your +2.
You may roll professional soldier.
I can do that.
Soldier.
That's more like it.
Ooh. Hold on. Wait, hear me out. We have a +3. This might be a stupid time for it. Yeah, it's a stupid time for it. The 25 is good enough. 25 is good enough.
25,
no,
I
shit,
think, is
yeah,
fine.
you have 2 +3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the
This
hype
25
train.
is good enough. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I think 25. This is not the time to use that. I'm sure we'll have many more times we need it.
Fine. Okay. Yeah. God, that's good. That's a really good roll. Jesus.
Come on, Keegan, write my lore for me. What do soldiers do in Paradel on this holiday?
This this is why he gives you no information. This is why he just wants you to fill in all these blanks. Okay. Jaren is a very he's a quite experienced, not only a soldier but a commander, right? You've been in 2 different military forces, but you're trying to think specifically back to the days when you were in Clemay, and you did have apparently the fortune of serving during a leap year, so that you were a part of
20
one of
years
these.
ago, which is like accurate enough to be the right year, so that works. That's great.
Somehow, that you were actually serving during that time, and it seems to be almost there's like an official side of things and an unofficial side. Like, officially, it is a day where typically it's the commanders are going to decide some way to provide some kind of respite for those under their command. That could be, maybe, if someone's on some kind of punishment duty, they would be let off for that day, maybe let off in general. If even if like you have like prisoners, that kind of thing, they may be treated a bit nicer during that time. They may receive like actual decent rations, maybe afforded, some time to like walk around, not free, but get fresh air, just do things that they would not normally be able to. There is some kind of encouragement to the aspect of mercy being available, being a not a right of all, but available to all. The way that you would have experienced it officially is maybe you were on some kind of punishment duty and you were relieved of it, and then the next day going back to it, they were like, what are you doing? No, that's been forgiven. Go back to kind of just have that moment of like, okay, wow, they are capable of not being dicks. This is kind of cool.
One day every 4 years.
One day every 4 years, yeah. But it's a possibility. But that's the thing you've seen, and it'll vary from commander to commander.
I was about to say, I could say that I heard stories from the other Inclemay soldiers that maybe they had vastly different experiences.
Yes, but it's pretty much always going to be you'll have some kind of slack afforded to you because it's not really a thing that you get otherwise.
Yeah.
The more important piece, though, is that it is heavily frowned upon for a commander to do nothing for it. Or if what they allow is just really paltry, just like they're just doing it so that no one can say they didn't. It's very heavily frowned upon. There's probably an official.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, there's probably some very specific set of punishments or reprimands that can go along with it, but you didn't command in that army, you served in it, right?
Yeah.
As a rank soldier.
Is that like Sarah Palin pardoning a turkey while standing in front of a whole line of turkeys being slaughtered one at a time? Like technically you did the job, but it's not good enough, and we all notice.
That's probably how they would see it. Yes.
Stop.
That's probably how they would see it. Yes, because it's literally they're kind of giving them the freedom to show how they understand this this tenet and kind of thing. So if you do a shitty job of it, it's like, oh, damn, you really have no idea what the day is about. And you can't even show that to others so that they're going to do it shitty in the future. It's bad. Now the unofficial side. People are probably drinking a little bit more. Maybe there's some recreational drug use, that kind of thing, because a holiday is a holiday,
Yeah,
I like Snaga's line here. They loosen the chains.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's actually a good way of putting it.
Because the chains of Lady Arabelle, yeah.
I imagine it's it's obviously not official, but it'd be common for the commanders to look the other way to a couple drinks.
Exactly what I'm getting
the
at.
Place, that sort of thing.
Exactly what I'm getting at. So there's a little more slack that people might take, inch mile kind of thing, because like you're probably not going to get punished as bad on on Shahid, right? Maybe you don't report for watch right away. Maybe you didn't wait till your relief got there right that second and like officially looked at him in the face and signed off. Maybe you saw him coming or like and took off.
I like the idea that one person takes the fall for everybody else on Shahid.
Right. And they're just like,
they martyred them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, draw straws. You draw the fucking short sticks.
Shit, that's my
you
turn.
Get all
this,
the shit.
this
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, because once the day is over, like they may just find a reason, right? But
if
but
you
no,
piss them off enough, yeah.
It's definitely a thing you would know that like it's pretty common that people aren't going to work as hard that day. They're not going to be expected to, and then they're also going to not. Maybe the commanders are, because they're now picking up the slack to save face, but...
So when you say that it's like that day tomorrow, it's one of those things where like, oh. Because he didn't know the date. He may have remembered it happening, but it's like, we can use that. And then he'll go through, and so we don't have to go through the explanation again. He will explain that at least his little knowledge of it, what it was like. I can't say that it'll have much of a difference. However, there is opportunity there that there might be someone not looking as closely as they would normally, someone drinking a little on the guard. There's a lot of things we might be able to use. In that case, I think it would definitely be better for us to bring the cart close, but not to the scout camp, so that we can quickly gather it afterwards.
It might be a good day.
Any other thoughts? He'll open to the group. Just
Drusus actually says something. He goes, wait, you're thinking of attacking on Shahid?
ideally,
I don't know.
we will be out before the end of it.
Yeah,
without
but
any combat.
but we're going to be shedding blood on a day of mercy.
I don't shed blood.
You're one man. It's still an attack.
This is where, like, Jaren is very much not religious in any way. Like that like he's like, he sees the utility of it and is like,
yeah.
This is
Which,
it. But
Jared,
he also knows that
you also probably
people
clock
who
the
do.
slight insubordination there of him. You're one man to a superior. But
yeah, it's
he's not wrong, but at the same time, like, to me, it's again that I'm not going to shed blood. He's not wrong. I'm not going to shed blood on a holy day, but there is the utility of it, and the simple fact of the matter is, this is war. You have to use that. I mean, for Christ's sakes, George Washington murdered a bunch of people on Christmas Day, didn't he?
oh yeah, sure did.
Welcome to America.
He did other bad stuff too. But
yeah, so, yeah. He's gonna say, right now, my job is to get you all and our target out alive. My priority is that. This gives us a lot more opportunity to do that easier.
I'm not arguing the utility, Magister. This is an order, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
He
What's
doesn't
your
care if he
concern?
hates him. He wants him to do the I mean, he's concerned.
You're asking Drusus?
Yeah.
It just doesn't sit right with what things can happen in combat. I'm sure you know.
If we wait a day,
What's your concern?
and
Snugget, Drusus isn't Jovan. Drusus is also Al Maltese.
yeah, he's
that's fine.
He's
yeah.
Hedge.
So he asks again, what is your concern?
I'm concerned people will die. And it won't be for mercy, it'll be for It'll be to be practical because it's a good time for it.
Drusus, allow me to remind you that if we don't act soon, and if we don't use what we have to our advantage, people will die. People that you very well may know. We have Preclarum there as prisoners of war, likely being tortured for information. They will die.
I'm not missing that, but it's on this day. It's not a day celebrating Vroga. That would make sense.
Would you prefer we pop a bottle of wine and spend the day relaxing instead?
It's not about what I prefer, Magi. And I will follow orders. How it sits with me is how it sits with me.
Not question whether or not you follow orders. And question whether or not you have the heart to follow through with what you're told to do.
To follow through? Absolutely.
Good.
I will have time to sit with my feelings when it's done. But I will have to sit with them.
And how will you sit if we arrived the day after next, and instead those that we're looking for are lying in a hole, a freshly dug one?
Point taken, Magi.
I worship the martyr, to be clear. She holds a place in my heart and on my mantle back home. I will show mercy.
Perhaps you have the strength to.
At that point, he stops like the authoritative nature. Obviously, Jaren is given his order either way, but
Yeah.
Yup.
You can actually hear when he says, like, perhaps you have the strength to. It's not in, like, a defeated way. It's like that's fair, you know?
Good. With that sort of, let's start getting the details nailed down. And I assume we can. This is like we'll be doing sleeping and then going in tomorrow. So how far away would be a good sort of distance to leave the cart that it's not like too far to get to, but not spotted by the scouts? Given it's night, it doesn't have to be that far. Night and overcast.
The basics there wouldn't be just like a number of miles. It's like once you can see them, you know, you're starting to get like once you can see not their fire,
See the
once
lights.
you can see them,
See the fire.
you know, there starts to get more and more chances that they can spot a difference out in the distance.
Yeah. No, so we need to decide how we're going to approach the camp as well, because obviously if we're going to try and take them out and they're scouts, they're going to be looking for people coming.
Having completely glazed over for most of that, one of the Yovan who's with you like perks up and goes, "Yeah, well, that's the thing. They're going to be looking for stuff, but you know, once they're on watch and on rest and such, like that is what it is, right? They're not going to be all looking different directions. You know, they'll post a guard,
indeed.
and that's about it. So your chances are pretty good as long as you move quick. Sounds like that's what you're doing. He has no idea what it sounds like.
Just trying to think back. I saw Jaren go for like a sort of stealthy sort of approach, even if that didn't go so well. Not Jaren, sorry, Varlin. Do a stealthy sort of approach. How good are you at taking people by surprise? Is what he'll say to Varlin.
I don't know. Depends on the day.
Sorry. By the way, Varlin, since you've just been sitting quietly, you've been able to tell that these other mercenaries checked out of that conversation a while back. There's even been like a couple.
It's the same as Varlin. He was just like, You can probably see that with like looking at each other and like fucking just looking around.
Yeah, like one of them would have even been like, "Anyway, you want some of this rabbit we got?" Like they're just not interested until it chimes
100%.
back into where they're in. So by the time they start talking to you, like you guys have been chatting, and now like Varlin's got like a small like bowl with like some like meat in it and like a boiled potato. But sorry,
So-
continue.
As like for organizing a plan of attack, this is once again Tesh knowledge versus Jaren knowledge. Do you guys have any ideas about how we should go for an attack?
I mean,
Attack them.
oh.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going stealth, my character can stealth, and him getting a good bonk on the head is not a bad way to start. So,
Yeah, and like with how this is something where I needed to get a better idea of with charging. It's I can move double my speed directly towards someone
Yeah, and you get an attack at the end of
in
it
a
at
straight
+2.
line.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, then like it we just have to get close enough to get that initial attack off because I think we'll be good after that.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a crossbow, right? Like a good golden. I got a crossbow, but
I have a short bow.
but so I mean, like we have a ranged attack, but I do agree getting in closer is better for all of us.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like having the short bow ready in case we have to fight at a bit of a range, moving up it would be a good idea. But if possible, I'd like to start the fight with me charging in while Jake takes someone out.
yeah.
So, Jake, what's your stealth?
It's 6.
I have a
Damn.
3 in stealth. I don't mind also trying to slip up behind so we can try to get 2. At the like try to take out 2.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. In that case, that I think that's a better way of doing it because then if I stay like far enough back that I can charge in, but like I'm back, because my stealth is not good. So having us be little like break up part as we get close would be a good idea.
Because charge is only going to allow you 60 feet, but luckily every 10 feet you are away from them, they take a -1 to perception. So in a contested
Yeah.
roll, you have effectively a +6 to stealth from that far, which is nice. But yeah,
I only have to be fair, I only have a -1, which considering the rest of my stats and my AC, that's actually not bad.
no, that's bad
For
for
an
stealth.
armored person.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
bad
I
for
wear-
an armored person.
I have a shield and chain shirt, and I got a 3. So
Yeah.
but no, I hear you. Cool. So I think Jake. I think
an
ideally, Jake tries to
armored
slip
person.
up closer.
Yeah.
And then if he can hold position and I slip up afterwards, and that way if I screw up, he can attack on the way in and you can charge. But if both of us can get into a solid position and then kind of like more or less simultaneous attack, obviously we can't perfect it, right? But
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a really good way of doing it. And like it's just if at any point stealth breaks, we go. But if we can set that up, that'd be the best. Sorry, my brain short circuited then. Before I will mention that like when we get close enough, an hour before, I will like go over some of the tactics and stuff that I would recommend for the situation. I will be able to provide a buff once we get into combat. But so yeah,
Alright,
we'll
well.
use that as the plan. So, Valen will get up in close, hold. Marcellus will try and join you. Should that both succeed, Marcellus attacks, you engage, we fight. If at any point the stealth breaks, I'll charge, and we begin.
The dog will be with me.
Yes, of course.
And one of the Yovan, when you say that, goes, "Oh, did you tell him about the dog yet?" And another one's like, "No, I don't think we got that far. They do have a dog. it it ain't like yours, but they got one out there. It's got a handler.
That would have been good to know, yes. And he says that very like I asked, like he asked earlier what we were dealing with, and that didn't come up, so he's not amused.
He just goes, look, we were gonna give you a whole thing. You guys started talking about other stuff, so.
What is different about the dog?
No, it's what's different from his. The
Less
one out there is a
trained?
normal dog. I mean, it's trained, yeah, but it ain't the fucking. It's not a wolf. It's a dog. Good for
That
sniffing stuff out.
means we should approach. So he will actually say that then we should make sure that we approach. It is it upwind or down. I forget what upwind or downwind means. It's one of those. Which is
You want to
upwind-
you want to be downwind. Upwind means though it's blowing past you down, right? It's like being downriver.
Oh, yeah. So you want to be downwind. So we want to make
Yeah.
sure that we approach from downwind because that dog will be much better at finding us if it can smell us given the weather.
Yeah, I already described that the clouds are rolling in east to west. So, that's the direction the wind is moving.
So that actually works out for us. There's that because that means that like the side we're approaching from should be downwind, right? Or is it the other way around?
Yeah, down. Yeah, you're
moving
correct.
east?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looked like
Yeah.
you were about to say something, so I paused.
So, yeah.
No, I was
So
just sort of
he says
They keep this dog in the camp or around it.
In it, it's with a handler most of the time. Sometimes they go sniffing around with it, but it sticks with them. I think at night it kind of wanders around a little bit, right? And one of them was like, "Yeah, it'll wander about some."
seeing an opportunity, he looks over to Varlin and says,
Varlin, that's an opportunity. Do you think yours could go at it, distract it, pull it, whatever? A wolf going after a dog's not so unheard of. It ain't standing next to the fire, right? Could even cause a little bit of a distraction for us too.
Valen looks down at Gordra and he says, "Are you thinking you take this dog? Huh? Can I rely on you?" And he starts messing around with him as the dog probably even pops up on its legs and puts its paws on his shoulders and he's wrestling around with it. He goes, "You'll be fine."
God, that's terrifying, says Drusus.
the irony is you're saying, God, that's terrifying. That would be the first time you would see a smirk from Jaren.
he's like humanize the dog or whatever. He says,
Yeah.
Well, that would take care of the dog and maybe even cause a stir in the camp. Might even pull some of them away. So we can get them piece by piece if anyone's chasing after the dog or looking after where it's going.
Yeah. I think that'll work. And then if that'll solve the issue if the dog is away from camp, and then if it's in camp, other plan follows.
I think that sounds good, Magister. In addition to this, keep in mind there are two different kinds of stealth. One being remaining unseen, the other being blending in. As far as they know, this cart is supposed to be going that direction. I'm not saying we have it moving ahead or putting it in danger, but maybe we should have it light some lanterns or something? Draw their attention that direction? Light here makes the rest of the darkness seem deeper.
It's not a bad idea, especially if we have it nearby and we say we move off to get ready and he's assuming that Drusus is, this is me assuming Drusus is not a combat person from the way things
He can handle his own, but he's here for the little bit of subterfuge the group is capable of.
yeah. So in that case, he would likely not be the sort of person to join us in the attack on these. He's more likely to sit back with the cart and the others.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I'll say we'll give you however long, and then after that, light the lanterns. maybe they look out that way. They get a little interested in what's out that way. We hit them from the side.
Yeah, I think that should work.
To remind
Besides,
everybody, the goal here is to keep the uniforms intact and unmessed.
Yes, that's the idea of being able to get them quietly or quickly. Both allow us to get the uniforms a little more intact.
All right, so sneak up. If the dog's around, deal with the dog and attack. That's the plan.
Yep.
All right. Well, when we going?
And I mean, tomorrow morning, I would say a time. Tesh doesn't know.
Tomorrow morning. Sounds great to me. All right. And Valen will walk off with his bowl of stew, kind of curl up against Gorgor like a pillow, and finish his food and go to sleep.
So as he like interrupts and like walks away, like Jaren just like turns to Marcellus, rusted blade.
Yeah, you can see the other Yoven, like, you kind of expecting them to, like, go to sleep. While they seem really tired, it's starting to become pretty evident that, they're starting to wake up a little. Like, they've been maybe acting on, like, a nocturnal schedule to keep an eye on these, like, camps and everything. So they were tired because they were up recently and having to get up and do a bunch of stuff getting ready for you. Because they were clearly planning on leaving when you arrived.
Too bad.
So they're a bit restless, but
yeah. So the amount of time we have to sleep, is it only enough? Like, do we have enough time for like a proper watch and still have us all rested, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Part of the benefit of
case,
leaving so early, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, do either Drusus or Marcellus have good ways to see at night? If not, then I mean, the whole watch is gonna be at night, so it doesn't really matter. In that case,
I do actually. I do. I think I have a torch and maybe a lamp with oil.
Yeah, well, we're not doing that.
There's also starlight and moons.
Which are quickly becoming unavailable.
Yeah, I was about to say that they're very, very rapidly disappearing.
It's pretty much in the time where you would actually need like full on dark vision. Like even low light's not going to help too much.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Like, the
So like the
the
keen
night,
senses wouldn't help.
No, and it also doesn't last long enough. That would be for like a moment of needing it, right?
The other reason why I brought that up
help.
is like, yeah,
because it will extend
what I was saying, if like
the radius at which you can see from the campfire light.
Yeah, like what I was thinking, what I would use it in is like it'd be a case of like I'm on watch, I think I hear something. No, I definitely hear something. Gulp. What do I see?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, basically the dim light that the campfire's giving off, you would see double that all of a sudden.
Yeah,
which could easily put some things in your radius.
I'll just keep it on the thing. I'll take first watch just because I want them to be as rested as possible. Actually, no. In that case, I'll take because the middle one's the one that's
middle
broken
one's
up.
the one.
I'll
that's
take
broken.
the broken one.
Yeah,
I'll take middle watch then.
I'll take first.
Whichever
That's
out of the
fine.
two
He
is
already went
least
to bed.
tired.
I'm here. I'll take first. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll want Dracius, whatever the fuck his name is, to
Drusus,
go last because that gives him time to get his cart and whatnot ready while he's on that watch. So
Yeah.
Yeah. He will have a quick aside with Marcellus.
sure.
And he'll say, Magi, these three mercs, not the one with the dog. These other three, they were already unwilling to go with us. Part of the reason I wanted to stay with the cart is to bring them with us. Keep an eye on them. I don't think they would try anything too drastic. If they do, well, I'll do what I can, but I'll try to make it evident.
It was a wise plan. I appreciated your suggestion with the cart. My mind immediately went to exactly this. It keeps them around and brings them value as they can see, they being the Dell, can see more than just a cart coming, but people walking alongside it. That said, I think what's going to keep them honor bound to our deal isn't, well, honor or even coin. It's going to be the mutual enemy that we share. The same reason why we have a deal with Yovance in general. The Dell will keep them to us, because they're not exactly about to turn tail on their own enemy, who's likely going to clasp them in chains and make them serve or whatever it is the Dell do.
Yeah, that's true. I was overthinking it, I guess, but
No, you thought it right. I hadn't thought of what to do with them. Your plan was better.
thank you. Well, have you ever been on a mission like this?
Gish gets sent on a wide variety of tasks because of our versatility. I prefer to serve alongside other Gish or Venator, but occasionally you get put under the command of
He looks over his shoulder.
others. You do the best you can with what you have. Rusty blade.
Always. I will say, it's not lost on me that they sent Gish and Haste for this mission. It makes me feel like there is some expectation of a fight, like a real fight.
More than just a fight. We both have specialties in protecting our ward. I think it's more than just a fight. I'm genuinely concerned about the condition of our target.
Yeah,
Your point?
there's just two halves to this, right? There's clearly we're meant to get in, we're meant to get him out, but in a whole camp, if we have to stand and fight, but they've probably got horses. It'll be hard to run from them. I'm just trying to piece together the logistics, and it feels like it's missing something.
My job isn't to make the plan. I may find loose threads here and there and tug at them. But if the Magister was sent to oversee this mission, that means he knows something, or at least is known well enough to fabricate things on the fly. I'm going to trust in the decisions of our leaders.
As will I. I guess maybe the thought I've been trying to crystallize here is I feel like maybe haste is of even more important than we might have assumed. I think the mission was put together quickly. I think the reason we're such a small group is so that we can move fast, harder to detect. I really wish I knew more of what we were about to run into.
As far as I understand, this mission was put together by the higher-ups over on the Proclarum. I was requested, as far as I understand, by the Proclarum. So, hastily thrown together and hope for the best? That sounds like your branch. That being said, do you know who it is that we're going to find? Do you have that intel? Because I do not.
He looks to the side a little and says, I'm not supposed to.
Raises an eyebrow.
He leaves it at that for there. It's almost like a, look, do you want me to tell you? Or is this a, yeah.
I know who I was asked to look for while there. So I know that's not the primary target. So it makes me wonder who is the primary target.
Let's see. It's another Proclarum, obviously. Magister Arjun. I know he was in this area, done a lot of work out here. Mostly in Renetslav. and surrounding places, but he's been all over the place. There's all kinds of information that he's spread on our behalf and gathered for the same, right? There's no telling what kind of things he knows. If they somehow break him, it would be a huge boon to them.
The name is not known to me, so he must be good at what he does. Well, this Magister, we will find him, and we'll bring him back in some form or another, preferably intact and unspilled.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah. Times when courage lacks, you depend on faith, right?
Indeed.
And you see, like, there's like not like a force behind it, but like it clicks to him because he is a religious man. It's hard to live in a world where literally magic exists, supposedly given by the gods, to some people at least, and to not believe in them, right?
Yeah.
Like in the real world, there's what, 8 billion people, and 7.5+ billion of them believe in gods. And there is no magic that we know of, right?
Yeah.
And so in a world where it does exist, it's hard to not have, some degree of faith. So, but for him particularly, it speaks true. Anyways, you can see there's like it hit a nerve when you say that, but not like one of those, do you want to hear about the teachings of Christ? Kind of, none of that bullshit. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's like in this sort of world, atheist is not even the correct term, but like being non-religious is a choice, like a very distinct, specific choice.
Yeah.
It's like in the real world, we have a term called ignorance, and we have a term called willfully ignorant. And this, you're willfully atheist, right?
Yeah,
Like-
that's
like-
actually a good way of putting it.
Willfully. Yeah.
It's
Um,
less that he doesn't believe in them; it's that he doesn't worship them.
Yeah. It's like you don't have any
Deliberately.
practices around it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a term we could probably coin if you'd like. It's called Aldoism. It's when you're willfully ignorant of most things. So
Sounds good.
Aldoism. Okay.
Um,
he had nothing else
anyways.
beyond that. So,
yeah,
mention
cool.
Mm.
Yeah. No. I was gonna say when he turned away, I thought there was gonna something else I was gonna say, but it must not be important in this case. I know I was gonna say Tesh, but yeah, we're good. Not now though. It'd be in the when we're actually heading into the camp.
Oh, right. You also said you had a. So yeah, before I actually forgot you said something. He goes to leave. He says, "Magi, can I ask who you were sent to search for?"
One, he says, he thinks for a moment and he says, "I don't believe it's a secret. Do you know Tristan?" He lets linger to see if the name alone sits there, and the character very well may not.
Yeah, he goes. The name is familiar, but I don't connect it to anything.
Tristan Corvain.
I certainly know Corvain.
He asked me to look for his brother.
Oh. I wish I knew more. He actually steps back and thinks for a second. Was there any evidence that he had come specifically this way? East, yes, but...
He leans in and says, "I've known him since he was a boy. His brother asked me to look for him. I'm going to look for him."
Well, then I'll do what I can. If you find papers, even coded, I can crack them, probably.
He nods.
Gives a quick nod to watch then. And he'll step away. Okay. All right. You have your watches. Anything else before we pass the night?
Nope.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm ready to kill something. I mean, hit something.
I
Okay.
just
Good.
very quickly. I've had something delivered. I just go grab that real quick.
Oh, fun. Cool. Well, morning does come. You know, you don't get assassinated in your sleep or anything. That's nice.
Thank you, Varlin.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but big dog is scary. When you wake up, I forget who you said. Yeah, he was last watch. So, once you get up, he's obviously over there getting the cart ready and everything. And there's like not like a big argument. There's just like a bit of a fuss happening as he's trying to get one of the Joven mercs to like put on one of the disguises. He's like, no, we're going. It's like, we're going to be if for some reason someone sees us, we need to look convincing. You're not going to have to wear it that long. It's like, yeah, this doesn't fit me. They're just kind of having this whole argument, but you can tell that they're like agreeing. They're just kind of being a pain in the ass. But they eventually get the cart and everything ready, and once you guys are all prepared,
I think I may actually say unless Tesh is unless he's gonna take command of that situation. I get a line. I'll say.
Oh, I was just gonna say one of the things I would actually do because I know that this is like it's not really a meta thing. You probably would have done it anyway, but I have a signal whistle, and I assume that would be within range. Like if the cart would still be in range of that with where we the approximate distance to a camp. It's specifically half a mile away.
oh, you did find it. Okay.
Yes, I did find it. Sorry, I'm also just taking my ADHD meds.
Hey, no worries.
So
must be
he I will come over and say a line, something along the lines of like
With this amount of wine, we might as well be going and drunk ourselves. Stop fussing. Get it done.
I can roll intimidation if you want.
Damn.
Yes, sure. That is the role.
Just trying to get them in line so that they're not giving the boy a hard time. Is that 25 the second time for intimidating them?
Yeah.
Can one of
They
them
are
polish my
terrified of
boots
you.
at the same time?
So you go over there.
Like if this is the
You start
So,
saying your line. The one you're speaking to directly, like, faces you. The other two immediately start just doing tasks. Like, because you're not, like, looking right at them. Like, oh, we could pretend we were behaving. They just go to, like, you know,
I
like,
love that.
putting stuff up. Like, one of them's, like, checking a wheel. That's fine. They gotta look busy. But you
Fantastic.
finish your line on the one guy, and he's like, hey, yeah, just John in the morning. We'll get to it. We're following what, half hour behind you? We're gonna move slower anyway.
He looks to Drusus?
Drusus.
Drusus to answer that question. Because he asked the question and Drusus has the answer.
So you pass
More or
it
less
forward to
handing
him.
off command
Yeah.
to yeah. No.
And he says, we'll judge it by sight. Don't worry about it. Just get that ready. And he just kind of starts taking over there. Gives you like a quick look of like appreciation and then continues.
Yeah, I'll give her whenever that person walks away, I'll give like a lingering glare after them for a while. And then finally I'll turn and then, if I'm ready, if everything's ready, just wait for the command. So
Yep.
Yeah, and as I said, at some point I will come over and Drusus, is this any issues? Spot back up. Blow it.
Sorry, one more time.
Oh, if there's any issues, you need help or this, you spot back up, blow it.
You give him the signal whistle. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
So you go to hand it to him. He goes, actually, there's one in the supplies. I had a chance to go through them.
Oh, perfect. In that
There's
case,
actually a kit in here that we could maybe use to shore up some of these disguises. It's not complete. Like, I've seen things like this back at home done much better. I might have the materials if you do have to get a little messy. I can probably help out.
I like that you pull like a blonde wig and a polka dot dress, and you're like, we can make this work.
Yeah, this is where I wish I took any points in craft because I have it as a class skill.
I have points in craft.
Craft what?
Nice.
Yeah, because my last name's Faber, which you know for like fabricate.
Yeah.
I might come from a family of crafters. I have a rank in craft armorer.
Neat.
What was mine? Hang on.
That was my background before they found out there was magic in my blood, and then I went and I left my family. I have a backstory.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
So
that mine just says a cavalier's class skills are craft int with nothing. So I guess I get to decide.
It's because craft is like a bunch of skills. You know.
I
that
mean,
you just, like,
honestly,
put-
it's probably
you
just
put a
something
rank
to
in
do
it,
with being a stable
pick
hand.
which
So
one.
like maybe it's like
rope or
carpenter?
something. Carpenter.
rope,
Yeah.
rope
like,
saddles, something like that. Not like just like.
but if you didn't put any
repairing
ranks in it,
saddles
it
and
doesn't
stuff like
matter.
that.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
there's no
exactly,
ranks, it
yeah.
doesn't matter. Cool. But yeah, he says. He goes, yeah. There's actually a decent stash in here. I don't know how much Varlin's family or whatever paid these guys before, or where all of this came from, but it's substantial.
What do we got?
A little bit of rope in here too. I don't know if you have any on you, but if we're going to be taking prisoners potentially, you might want some.
That'll be good. I've got manacles for in the moment, but having rope to tie them up for later will be very, very useful.
Okay. Yeah, he'll unpack a 50-foot length of rope. There's another one in here like this. Figure we don't have time to sit here and cut this up, but you can do with it what you need to.
Yeah. So how much rope is it? I'm trying to.
It's a single 50-foot length.
Okay.
It's all
I mean,
spooled, of course.
how heavy is that? Because that might be worth taking just to so in case we don't kill. Or like if we knock these guys out, we can tie them up instead of having to bring them, come back to the cart, get the rope, come back and tie them up. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to last while we're doing our thing.
Yeah, hempen rope is 5 pounds. 50
So,
foot.
Oh yeah, I'm
I-
pretty sure I can
I-
carry that.
I have a solid 15-ish pounds that I can spare as needed. So if you
I'm
threw
pretty
like
sure I can carry that, but let me have a quick look.
you're welcome to. Just try to take it off your hands for you.
Hemp rope. Let me chuck that in. Please, game work or not. Cool. Thanks. Browser just died and restarting. Yeah, Roll20 does that sometimes where it's like, I am overloaded, so I just give up. There we go.
You're at
I'm
the,
still light load. I'm good.
yeah, you're at the very top of your load, I think.
Yeah, I'm still at light load. I thought I was at medium load earlier until I realized my arrows had put, I had 10 3-pound arrows. I'm like, that's not right.
Shit. Fucking 30 pounds.
Something's
of
wrong there.
arrows. Yeah.
Because
they're
I made the
0.1.
mistake of being like, they come in packs of 20 usually. So when I chucked them in from the compendium, I was like, you have one
Oh.
that's 3 pound. And then I
Yeah.
changed the amount to 10. And then
Yeah, the
I've now
compendium.
changed their weight to 0.15.
Yeah, the compendium also does do that incorrectly when you drag it over. I always forget it. does.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
was the issue. Okay, yeah, no, I can carry that fine. So yeah, I'll carry it because then that also means if I grapple up with someone, like I can hold them there. Someone takes it out of the pack and wraps it on around them while I've got them held.
Yeah. Absolutely. You can arrest someone. You can arrest two people.
no,
You got those manacles.
I
too.
have the masterwork manacles, the ones that I can just
You have
quick
the quick
release.
catch. Yeah.
Yeah, the quick catch. So I can very much quickly deal with click manacles.
Yeah.
Done. And then
So
they're
you take the
fucked.
single. So you take the single 50-foot length.
Yep.
He's like, there's some other stuff in here. Some of it probably not as useful for taking a flat temp camp like that one out there. Some smoke
For the bigger
sticks. I
one?
think these what these are.
Oh.
I think this stuff is scent cloak.
So I
Yeah.
would obviously want to have a look at this. Would I have had experience with this sort of stuff before?
Oh, probably. Right?
Yeah.
At the very least, you've probably heard of it. But if you ask, he will explain to you, a smoke stick is an alchemical item, which is why I think you're probably familiar being from Malta.
Yeah.
But it makes a 10-foot cube of smoke in an area.
Ooh, that's really good. And how many of those were there? Because that'd be a good thing to divvy up with people.
There's 2.
Maybe not for this current one, but okay. In that case, I think probably the other person that would be good to have it would actually be Varlin, I would think.
And then he also
Varlin
has
one.
There's also some scent cloak.
You have
which
one
can
already?
help conceal your scent.
Yeah.
Say that last one again. Oh, I heard. My brain caught the end of that. And was like, hang on. We need that.
Yes, there's 2 scent cloak, which you can use to help actually conceal your scent. It makes the DC to track you go up by 10 for 24 hours. There's only 2 doses.
Okay, so that's to track, not to smell initially, right? Or does
Correct.
that count?
It's for tracking specifically.
Okay, so that'll be good for the escape, not the this.
Yeah, it gets pointed out at the same time.
Yeah. Then I guess a smoke stick for each of us for this engagement, just in case. I don't think that's something that will be particularly useful, but you never know. Having it is better than not having it.
Yeah.
And then we can decide what to do with them later. So yeah, that'll work. Smoke stick.
Yeah.
I guess we if that's everything in there, I guess we get on our way.
Okay. All right, so you guys start heading out. You see that you get a quick salute from Drusus, and you guys head up over the hill. You're able to look out a bit further from your slight vantage point there. Excuse me. From where you're standing, you can see relatively far. In the fact, distantly, you can see that they're, it's probably Varlin, and I guess actually, oh my gosh, I can't remember it. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Jaren.
Jaren, yep.
You're both pretty well trained in
It's always
survival.
funny when you end up with 2 names that are just close enough to be to trigger the brain, but not close enough to actually be close.
Exactly. So, you guys are pretty well trained in survival, having to read the weather and that kind of thing. You recognize very distantly, there probably is a curtain of rain that way. The fact you can see it from here, even with it being kind of difficult visibility despite it being flat, means that it's probably pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So even if that gets closer, that's not the worst thing for you getting where you're going. It could be a problem for the escape, but it's not an issue right now.
That's that's what I was thinking. That's honestly at least slightly a benefit to us in terms of the engagement, the approach. It helps with the dog's scent issues if the wind changes suddenly.
It's well past where the camp. You're sure it's several miles off.
It's a later camp
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Just you guys are both proficient enough that you probably recognize it from a hilltop looking
Okay,
out.
so that's
Would it
something
still
to
at
deal
least a
with for the
little bit of
major
light?
camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, the other thing that you can definitely see from where you are is you can see the POW camp. Not a good view
okay.
where you can make out a bunch of details, but it is a legitimate structure. You've been told it's temporary, but even a temporary camp, especially with Paradel, can sometimes be pretty well positioned, pretty well established. It's nothing you have to act on right now. Just know that it is a thing that you know the direction of. continue
Yeah,
down the
and
road.
I assume we can see it because of like the lights and like fires at the camp mainly. It's not like a close enough that we have to now worry about being seen taking this out, right?
It's much too far for that. You're too,
Cool.
you're a small group of people on a hilltop. You know, by the time you get moving and everything, this is very faint light you're getting because it's morning. That will fade.
Yeah, it just means we should probably make sure we don't extinguish the scout camp's fire so they still see it out there as if it's like
Correct.
there.
So you continue. It sounds like probably nothing need to be discussed on the way there, or do you have any brief planning you need to do? Anything else? I think you're pretty set.
So within an hour of the thing, I would want to go through with everyone the plan.
Yeah, of
Just,
course,
let
of course,
me,
of course.
Do the thing.
Yeah, let me. tee
So
that
yeah,
up
I
for
just
you
need to. I need to make sure that I can do a thingy thing, the things.
here. Triggered within 1 hour, and then last 3 minutes. Yeah, you only have to plan for. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So
Yeah, I just
You
need.
will
I
get
need to
there.
make sure that I can plan for a minute.
yeah, once you get a little closer, then you can start doing so because you can see the POW place. That's not where you're headed right now. You're trying to find these scouts, right?
Yep.
So you make your trek. The direction they've kind of directed you, gave you a general place
Oh,
to start
so
heading.
This isn't like a once a day thing, so I can use this 4-hour scout.
Yeah,
one
you
as
will
well.
get to it, but we're
Okay,
not
cool.
there yet. So
My apologies.
oh, you're good. So you start moving. You're like trying to keep an eye out to see like, okay, once it gets dark enough, you know they're gonna have to light a fire. You're heading the general direction. You've got like a pretty good scope of the area. Didn't see it from back there, but you will. I do need perception checks from you all to see if you get any
Yep.
kind of early warning or anything like that.
Early warning of what, Kicken? Early warning of what?
Where you're headed.
Oh,
Damn.
my brain heard that and got real worried for a second there.
Nice. Scott's still away. I'll roll it off his sheet here.
23. I'm happy with that.
Scott is still peeing for whatever reason.
Tesh can handle equipment. Oh, I don't have access to his equipment, so I don't know what.
Oh, I think he was just talking about what was on the cart.
Oh,
he's
right,
back.
Yeah, I mean, I gave him a smoke stick, so. Oh, he's back.
He's returned.
Maybe. No, he's gone again.
I already rolled for him anyway.
Oh!
Why did I? You know what? We should wait for Scott. Scott, you should go ahead and roll
you
your
rolled.
perception
You rolled for him. You rolled
on
for
your
him.
sheet. You personally should roll perception.
No, I think
Rather
I
than
think that counts. You
Whoever
rolled for him,
randomly
Scott.
rolled for you like that, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's
I don't even know how that
wild.
happened.
But
I see it. I see everything.
Yeah, okay, so
hell yeah.
13th is right. I won't pull a Scott. I'm a nice DM. So yes, you rolled a 20,
Okay,
Scott.
okay.
Wow, look at that.
It's not a guaranteed
Do you want to
success,
look
and
at-
I rolled a little higher anyway. So
A little higher.
Wait, you
on-
rolled profession. I just realized you rolled profession,
Yeah, you
not
didn't.
perception.
You didn't
oh,
roll
I did.
perception.
Oh, it's my. Oh, you're right. My perception's -1, and I rolled a 4. Never mind. I'm glad he rolled
Damn
higher.
it.
I lack
That's fine.
context, so Jake, I'll let you decide. Do I luck it or am I happy?
I rolled a 13. I would have gotten 22. Oh well.
I reckon a 20 perception's quite good, so I would leave it.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 is pretty solid.
Thank you for noticing that I rolled the wrong one.
Oh, I didn't realize that was still there. Hold on.
I've done that a number of. I used to do that on the old one as well because I just see the P and go, oh, that's the one. The P and the high number.
Right. Okay, total 20. So, to catch you back up real quick, Scott, you guys did head out. You also have a smoke stick now. There were 2 in the
Oh, yep.
supplies. Varlin already
There are
had
scent
one.
sticks for later.
So, yeah, and you have a couple of scent cloaks, which will help you not be tracked, but doesn't really help you right this second. Cool. You can, when you're at the top of that hill I described earlier, you could actually see the POW camp in the distance. not enough detail to get like a bunch of like structural ideas, but you can definitely tell there's some kind of wall, maybe like a tall wooden palisade or something. There's not like towers or anything, but you can see it. You know its direction. You're not really going to get lost going that direction. Anyway, this check specifically was as you are looking for the scouts to start their fires. It's not quite the dead of night or anything like that. It's been only, half a day or so. A little bit less than that, in fact. You don't see any fires yet. However, you do manage to catch just the faintest view of what looks like some smoke. It's not a ton of it. It's pretty faint, but you do see a trail of smoke in the air coming from one way or the other. You follow that and kind of looking over there in that direction. It is already a little too dark and it's pretty far, so it's hard to make out a bunch of details, but you definitely see movement over there. Now, you all weren't heading straight that direction. You were heading east, roughly the direction you knew they should be camping, which were headed right for their camp. Seeing that, this allows you to kind of make the correction and go straight for them, hopefully save a bit of time, cover a bit more ground more efficiently. But also, you're aware of them before they've even lit their fires. You might be able to get into some kind of advantageous position or make some other judgment call on that I'm not thinking of.
I mean, this was our plan, right? Move in as close as possible before let the wagon continuing to roll by be one distraction, and then as maybe their eyes on that, the hound attacking from a different direction. Like that was the plan.
Yep.
I don't think there's any reason to alter it, right?
Not that I can think of.
Can you help us at all with your tactician ability, Tesh, or no?
In what? As in, like, the tactician allows me to share the feat, the teamwork feat.
Which feat?
So escape route. So I'll ping it actually. This will be the one that I will be sharing. Basically, when we all have it, when you're within the range, you don't provoke attacks of opportunity when moving through spaces that your allies threaten.
Okay.
Or adjacent to your, moving through adjacent to you.
I don't know if this is going to be valuable,
space.
but you can spend time now before we attack, because we have enough time here and it's so quick to do, to prep that up and so we can enact it and have that available in combat.
We did talk about that. Yeah, I think we went through that while you were not here. We're gonna have a moment before we go in.
Yeah, this would be the point where you get to do that now. Yeah, so you spend a
minute.
minute.
Yes.
We already have the plan. Let's kind of go, right?
Yeah. So
wagon's going by,
separated,
dog's attacking, Jake's moving in first. I'm moving in second while Jake waits, and then you're charging.
Dog's attacking if dog is roaming. If their dog is roaming, dog attacks first. If their dog is not roaming, you two get in close, then dog attacks first.
Yep. Cool.
Cool. So as you continue ahead, one of the things that you'll obviously note.
So sorry. I just realized chat's going to get mad at me for having the plan to attack the dog. And then I just realized my response is, it's a dog-eat-dog world.
So what Jaren will obviously notice, because he's doing all this planning, you can see ahead of you a bit, and you're able to like direct people that like to and fro with this. I won't call it luck; it's just the terrain. But there are actually some shrubs and other things up ahead.
Ah, nice.
You are getting past where it is just so barren that there was just nothing to get behind, and it's getting a little more hilly. No big proper ones that obscure your sight too much or anything like that, unless you're at the very bottom. But the ground's a bit rougher. And there are some rocks and some shrubs and bushes and the like that you can actually use maybe a bit
Nice.
to your advantage. Cool, you're able to point that out. They obviously notice them, and you start making your approach. Now, do you guys try to maybe hustle a bit to get it to cover as much ground as you can while you know their fire isn't lit and you know where they are? Or do you just continue to be, like, cautious?
What do you think, Jake? You're the stealth guy.
Isn't it
Probably-
easier for them to see us when, like, with the way light usually works with eyes, but I don't know if that's how that works in this system, is like if they don't have a fire, it's easier for them to see. When they have a fire, it's going to be harder for them to see us moving up, right? Because the bright
That's a
light
GM
versus the
discretion
dark.
thing. There's no specific rules about that. Yeah.
They would be smart enough that when they're actually, like, going around, like, looking and such, some would step away from it, step up higher or whatever, some would stay near it and to see what the difference is in what they're seeing, right?
Yeah, but well, I more meant like in terms of hoping that they're going to be looking at something else other than us. The more it's less likely for them to spot us if some of them are blinded a little.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of have
What,
you kind of have
what do
options there.
What were you going to say, Jake?
Varlin would
Okay.
suggest we probably hurry a bit before the fire's lit.
Okay.
Cool. So you hustle a bit there, just trying to cover as much ground as you can before they've got the fire. Maybe Varlin's idea here is that, like, before they've got that lit, maybe they're doing more camp preparations. They're not paying as much attention to the outside of their camp, that kind of thing. This might be the time to move. Cool. So you go ahead. Eventually, you will see. Yeah, you kind of look over. You can see the cart is moving. You watch as, like, the lanterns get lit and everything. It actually stands out quite a bit. Your eyes have got a little bit adjusted to how dim and how gray it is under the clouds and everything. So it is, I won't say startling, but it is striking how much that like a lantern or two on this cart suddenly stands out over there. Like, it draws your attention. Granted, you're kind of looking for it, but, like, that should help.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Good thing, but it also means we're on a timer because it means someone from the actual camp might see the fire and be like, "Oh, it's on the way."
True. Which might draw them out. Who knows? But it sounds like you wanted
What's the gap
Varlin.
between? What's the gap between fire and camp?
Between. Sorry, do you mean
between the
wagon
scout fire and the camp?
You mean the POW camp and the scout fire, right? When you said draw somebody out from the camp, is that what you were referencing?
No. Sorry. No. Scout camp. I'll be specific.
Oh,
Might draw someone out
okay.
from the scout camp.
Never
Yeah.
mind.
POW
Okay.
camp's
My
way too
apologies.
far. Yeah, my mistake.
Continue. No, is it my mistake? Go ahead.
No, I keep calling them both camp, and it's not helpful.
No, it's my fault, Keegan. You're
Okay.
the DM. You're always right. Remember that.
No, it's just your fault. That's the thing I took away
Yeah.
from that. Cool. So yeah, it may draw some of that out to come look at it, whatever, that kind of thing. My understanding, you wanted Varlin to move ahead with Gorjaw, see if they could draw off the dog, anything like that. Cool. Or you wanted to do that after they've lit the fire, or are you trying to wait until that happens?
What do you think?
It was after they lit the fire, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, that was the plan.
I think so. That sounds right.
Sounds good
in
to
my
me.
brain.
Absolutely fair. Cool. So you guys cover quite a bit of ground together. You can tell, obviously, when it's getting darker and darker and stuff, and eventually there's that point where you just kind of make the judgment call of, like, okay, we should hunker down here, because if they light it with their being Perrin, we don't know. We might get a little too close. We want to stay back here. This is probably good. At that point, you wait a minute, and then eventually you can even, in fact, hear the, like, striking of flint and steel. And then eventually the orange glow of the fire appears, and camp is exactly where Marcellus said it was. Exactly where you saw it before. It is not big. It's obviously meant to be easy to take down, easy to set up. One large tent, one fire, and you count 4 people, Perrin, and 1 dog, as was stated.
My brain separated when you said that. For a split second, my brain was like 4 people, a Perrin, and I'm like, oh
That's right,
no, you meant 4
because
people.
Perrin aren't people.
That's why my brain locked up. Like, wait, what?
Yes, 4
Continue.
people, a
You spent too
Perrin,
much time.
and
there
a
was-
dog.
Your characters spent a few
And a
hours in your
dog.
Vance, and look what happened. Look what happened.
Yeah,
Okay,
fire's lit, which means Varlin gets to move. Cool.
cool.
So it's Varlin and Gorja. Are you guys sticking together, or are you? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't because of what Tesh said, Varlin's gonna hang back. I don't know how far back. That's up to Jake. And the dog is what's gonna go in and almost act like a natural dog, running in and be like, "Arr!" and like attacking.
Is the
and going,
dog
right?
well? Yeah, is the dog roaming or is it by the fire? Because that was the key thing. If it was roaming, then Gorjor was going to attack it, and draw them. If
that's
not,
partly
then we
my
can go
mistake.
with the stealth one.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go a little bit ahead or whatever and like wait to see. But let me describe.
Yeah, Varlin is getting it, so we're not coming from the same angle, but let's assume the camp is at 0. I'm making up numbers here. You know,
good.
if I am 10 from camp, Jake is 5 from camp, and Tesh is probably even further than me, so probably more like 15
Yeah.
from camp, right? So like we're like layered but from different angles. Does that make sense, Keegan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'm
Gotcha,
sorry.
gotcha. No worries. Cool. I can
that.
adjust that.
The fact that my color's green makes it very hard to draw, but like that a little bit.
Oh, you can change it if you click on it. You'll get a thing.
I
we have
know,
a
but
map?
I chose green.
Not a proper one yet.
Oh,
I'm
I was saying, did we
establishing-
go to a map? I didn't see a map.
Yeah, you can. in a
No,
minute.
no. I just drew on the background.
You absolutely can go to a map in just a second. Here, I'm just getting
Yes.
Awesome.
getting you
Yay,
established.
map.
That's why I'm
DMs
asking
map are
positions.
So sexy.
I'll delete my scribbles.
So, all right, cool. So Varlin a little bit ahead, Marcellus between him and Jaren. Cool.
Yep. I basically just I want to be the furthest away because I'm the worst at stealth, but I also can charge in, and not have it be as big of an issue. I want to be within 60 feet of Marcellus, effectively.
Within 60
That
of
way I
Marcellus.
can-
Okay.
Yeah, preferably within 50, but 60 is where I like is like the maximum because I want to be able to make sure I can get to someone if they engage him. Sort of
Gotcha.
thing.
Okay.
She's like,
Can
"Will
do.
you?" And you're like, "Oof."
So are you trying to stay like well away, like out of the light of the campfire, so that like you know that even with Perrin eyes, like you won't be even in dim, you'll be in dark, or are you like, okay, we'll be where it's dim and I'll stay down.
Even I'm doing that right now. So he's further behind me.
Yeah.
Jake, I imagine, is maybe on the rim of that, but I'm not going to speak for him.
No, you'd be right. We have the plan right. So,
Yeah.
see, well, it depends on where this dog is, but we're definitely closer than you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. Cool.
Get him,
Yes, you can see the dog is currently like milling about the camp. You can see like his handler sitting on a log, like they
Nice.
kind of playing and messing with him or whatever. Throws something. It doesn't go super far, but it like runs off, grabs it, comes back. It's like the opposite way of you. It's like, damn, that would have been good.
I was about to say, Dad, that would have been really good. I mean, that
Comes
still
back.
could work out.
Like it comes back and like pets it a little bit or whatever. Somebody yells something. You can't. It's like unintelligible. They jaw back and forth for a little bit. He goes like throws whatever it is again. This time like a little further, different direction. It's not quite your direction yet, but he is turning your direction. So maybe imagine you stay put a little bit more.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let me get you guys to this
Here
map
we go.
so you can kind of see what I'm working with here, and we can adjust your positions just so I can make sure, because I'm not trying to like screw you guys over or anything.